Oh. Rusty Shackleford, how are you, sir? Spaghetti. There was some chick who had like this crazy fucking ass. What was her name? She's got to be in Figure or something, right? Yeah, that's her. Tiffany Sam. I gotta follow her on Insta. Dude. Like, god damn. Oh. Kid Boo, donate $2. Let me see. More torturing poor people with hot sauce.
Do it, tour it up. Once you done, you wait a minute, then you get 40. Think you can do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, damn.
Keep going, keep going. How you feeling? How you feeling right now?
I'm straight.
A few moments later.
Hey, listen. To all the women, if you got a wet mouth, you should try it.
Why you keep on moving though, man?
Oh, you did pay me already. I mean,
Got you forgetting, bro.
that's hot, bro. In a box.
Oh, okay.
I ain't say nothing else.
Yeah, you right, you right. That water working?
I'm straight now.
That wasn't too bad. He handled that pretty well. What in the fuck? Why does that look like flex glue? Oh my god, dude. Just that amount of effort? Bro, it looks like it's fucking stupid. It literally looks like he put flex glue in his hair. That's like clearly not hair. Is that like actually flex glue? Because it looks like flex glue. Oh. Oh, he didn't get the snack he wanted. Oh no, poor Gator. Oh, he's upset. He doesn't understand. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
She said I'm not spiritual enough or something. And I mean like, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't fucking care, dude. Great. Thanks for the donation. Dodo donated $3. Let me see.
Zoran Mondani comes across as all smiles as he promises so-called free programs and other services for all New Yorkers. While his leftist social views will surely be under scrutiny by conservatives and moderates, this city appears to have embraced him.
What's the deal with Mondani? Why do you support him?
Oh, man, it's like, why wouldn't I? That's the question you should be asking. That's easier to answer.
Despite that affection, plenty
He's literally going to make everybody more poor.
of Jewish New Yorkers have a much different view.
Are Jewish New Yorkers on edge because of Mamdani?
Yes, yes.
Liz Burney is a researcher
He's an anti-Semite. He hates Jews. Everybody
with the
knows that.
Zionist Organization for America. She keeps track of Mayor Mamdani's past views, statements, and policy positions, which have given her and others much to consider. For starters, Mamdani has consistently accused Israel of being an apartheid state while engaging in genocide against Palestinians. He's been active in...
By the way, I learned this recently. What's fucking hilarious? Lebanon is an apartheid state. Literally. There are Palestinian refugees living in Lebanon. They literally do not have the same human rights that, normal people in Lebanon do. To this day, after multiple generations, they are not allowed to own property. If you are the son or grandson or great-great-grandson of a Palestinian refugee, you are not allowed to own property in Lebanon. So basically, you are infinitely fucking poor. You can never build up, any assets within Lebanon. It is a literal apartheid. And then they accuse fucking Israel. Again, this is all about fucking Jew hate. That's all it is. If they actually gave a fuck about apartheid, this or that, they would be criticizing Lebanon. But they don't. Because they can't blame the fucking Jews for that one.
Anti-Zionist rallies and refuse to condemn anti-Semitic language like From the River to the Sea and globalize the Intifada. Jeffrey Lax is a law professor at the City University of New York.
Oh yeah, he supports globalize the Intifada. We all know what that fucking means. Yeah.
The Intifada means kill the Jews everywhere across the world. So you don't...
One of his first acts revoked the anti-Semitism definition set by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance.
Gee, I wonder why he did that.
Donnie felt it's too broad and restricts strong statements against Israel. But that can be...
Uh-huh. We know why he's doing this shit. Fuck him. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo $2, VG. I think you're starting to get some hair thinning on your crown. You might want to do something about it soon or just shave it. Oh, yeah. Wait. That's edited, isn't it? That's fucking edited. You fucking edited that. Fuck you. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Son Goku donate tellers, Greg trolling Instagram whores. Let me see. That's totally... Let me just... I'll shave it if, I am actually going bald, but that's gotta be just bullshit. You fucking edited that. I know it. $1,000 or something? Let me see. Yeah, that's fucking edited. You totally fucking edited that. Yeah, nice try. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Just putting your leggings on wrong, so let me show you how to get the most out of your leggings, scrunch bum or otherwise. Our first example is going to be the Honor Active Enhanced Lift. These leggings are chef's kiss, but this will work on any legging, including non-scrunch bum. What I want you to do is pull up as much slack from the legging as you can up toward the top of your thighs. And once you have a little bit down here, what we're gonna do is what I call the scoop. You need to put your hands all the way in your pants. What we're gonna do is go palms out. You're gonna grab from the outside and push your thumbs in toward one another and pull the scrunch bum into your butt crack. The goal should always be to make the scrunch bum invisible. If you can see it, it's not far enough up your crack. Once I've done the scoop, then I just do a little extra manipulation, pulling the fabric from the outside in and giving my glutes a little extra fabric. This is after the scoop and a little zhuzhing, and I feel like that's a pretty big.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that they're doing that. Thanks for the donation, Son Goku. Sarah donated $2. Ask yourself why there are Palestinian refugees in Lebanon in the first place. It's Israel's doing. Yeah, there's Palestinian refugees in Israel because Palestinians decided to go to war with the Israeli state, and then they lost. So then they fled to fucking Lebanon because they're fucking losers. And they stayed losers. And they blame the Jews for everything when guess what? They've been living in Lebanon for fucking generations and they're treated as second-class citizens. So no, you can't blame the Jews for that. And the only reason nobody fucking talks about it is because, again, this is all about Jew hate. So suck it, retard.
It's a shame that the shitty Christian broadcasting network is now a more valid source of information than the actual mainstream news media.
Christian Broadcasting Network? I don't know. I don't know what that is or what you mean. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo $2. Haha. Yeah, the hair thing was AI generated. I thought it was funny to make you think that for a second, also react. Yeah, it was funny. Breaking footage from Tucker Carlson's interrogation has emerged. This is VIP security, signs a document, smiles, hugs the airport security member, smiles for a photo, cracks a few jokes, leaves within 5 minutes. Yeah, of course. Dude, what a fucking... Like, and everybody knew this. Like, that whole story made no sense. Huh. They don't like each other, apparently. Les Wexner deposition talks about how odd it was that Trump was at fashion shows. Go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because it's very important to the brand. Some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there, and some Trump was there. Trump would always introduce himself to me. I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion.
Did you ever...
Well, we know why Trump was there. He has a thing for young girls. He even wants to have sex with his daughter.
Spend time with Epstein and Donald Trump?
Together?
Yes.
I would answer this question accurately. I would go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because it's very important to the brand. At some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there and some Trump was there. And I remembered because Trump would always introduce himself to me. And I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion.
Did you ever spend time with Epstein?
Yeah, he was there to look at young girls and shit. Like, we all know that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Her ass is just fucking insane. Especially recently. Her butt has gotten so fucking crazy. Jesus fucking Christ, that is some epic cake. Dude, just imagine after a workout, so goddamn sweaty, and then you just get to sniff that big glorious behind. I would appreciate that. Yes, please. They're like just such big, meaty hams. I fucking love that. Yes, I approve. Dodo donate $2. You won't hear Code Pink mention this. Hamas has released an updated casualty list, completely vindicates Israel. Majority casualties were military-aged men. If Israel were indiscriminately bombing Gaza, we'd see equal distribution. Yep. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, yeah, it's just bullshit. According to their own numbers, children were less than 15% of casualties, while children make up 50% of Gaza's population. So, yeah. Again, if it was indiscriminate, you'd see disproportionate amount of children dying, and you don't. So, what a surprise. Like, by the way, it's Hamas. It's their own numbers. Like, are we gonna... I'd love to hear the cope. You're guaranteed to hear some stupid bullshit fucking cope. It doesn't matter. It's still a genocide. Whole world loves him. I wish he knew. This is Punch, a baby Japanese macaque who was abandoned by his mother. Oh. Wonder why his mom doesn't like him. Usually it means they have some weird genetic disorder. Man, I'm getting confused with the links here. Prince Andrew joins UK Muslim rape gang so he can keep abusing young girls. Yeah, I heard about that. That's a good joke. Yeah, Prince Andrew getting arrested. It's true though. The UK has a two-tiered society. If you're Muslim, you can rape children, but yeah, they go after Prince Andrew. Annual mass prayer by Islamists at Times Square in New York City will take place tomorrow. If I lived in New York, I would go down there with a megaphone. Prophet Muhammad's a child rapist. Fucking pathetic. Dude, society's so cucked. Just fuck these liberal shitholes. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see. Oh. Oh my god, that is a beautiful ostrich. Oh, that ostrich wants to beat him up. Ostrich is not like him. That's a good ostrich. It's a nice big bird. That's kind of funny. Love how the monkey's like, think you're better than me? That's funny. Monkeys are cool. Oh man, I hate these things. I had a fucking dream about these murder hornets. I was like my grandmother in my dream warned me about murder hornets. And then sure enough, murder hornets started coming in our backyard, and then I was like, oh shit, Grandma, run, there's murder hornets. And then it became like even more insane. The murder hornets kept getting bigger, and I was running away from them, and then eventually the murder hornets got so big they were like the size of buildings. And then there's this murder hornet that like just flew close to me that was like massive. Like we're talking about like the size of 3 or 4 houses. And I tried hiding behind a building from it, and it had laser beam eyes, and then the murder hornet started shooting its laser beams at me, and it was even burning through the building that I was hiding behind, and I couldn't escape the lasers, and then as soon as the laser hit me, I woke up.
This is an extreme sting test, if there ever was one. And I'm about to enter the sting zone with the murder hornet on 3. Ready?
Yeah, that's...
1, 2, 3. Oh my god! Oh! Oh my god!
It's probably not that bad. I've been stung by a hornet a few times now. Like, it's annoying. It's like a weird, sharp, annoying pain, but it's not, like, bad. It's something that you can pretty easily ignore. Murder hornets are different, obviously, but it's probably not that big of a fucking deal. These people are probably just babies. But, you know, what do I know? I've never been stung by one, but I'm pretty sure it's just not that big of a deal. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
What? This Trump wants to have sex with his dog? How could conservatives support him?
I think you meant daughter, but... You know, the cope is he was just joking or something. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo Donatillers. You know, Code Pink... used to be all about feminism, and they're shameless now about how they work for the CCP. They don't even try to hide it now, and they became primarily a so-called anti-war organization. If they were feminists, they would support Iranian women. Well, feminism has always been like a communist psyop. Like, technically, like, if we're talking about the very beginning, like the suffragettes, that's a different story. But 1940s onwards, feminism has just been a communist psyop. So yeah, no shit, they started as a feminist organization. It's because they're fucking commies. But yeah, it's all bullshit. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. STX $22. The amount of things that girls fake is insane. Fake hair, fake nails, fake lips, fake tits, butt lifts with paddings, high heels, makeup, BBLs, fake eyelashes, tattooed eyebrows, fillers or filters, and all is socially acceptable. We are fucked as males. Well, I mean... girls who do all that, like, it's pretty obvious you're doing that, so you can just date women who don't do that stupid crap. Just date girls who do steroids. You know? Women on steroids are fucking hot. They have nice, juicy, meaty asses, and they're horny as shit. Because they're on male hormones. So it's just great. Just do that. Thanks for the donation, though, STX. Dodo donated $2. Let me see.
I would rather die than worship Israel. Like I said, I would rather die. I would rather die than worship Israel.
And it was all really about the Israel thing. And I'd rather die than bend the knee to these people. I'd rather die.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Qatar. Black Zionist obliterates anti-Semite.
Israel kinda sucks, dude. You're against killing animals, but not innocent humans? I'm a retarded dumb fuck faggot who listens to fucking TikTok propaganda videos. Think of the children. Congratulations, you're fucking banned. Fucking say that to my face in public, motherfucker. Come up to my fucking face. You see me in public, I don't care if it's at a fucking restaurant, say that shit to my fucking face and see what fucking happens. I hope you have fucking kids. Bring your fucking kids with you, say that shit to my fucking face.
Based. Watch trailer.
You got a friend. Do you, Forky, to Karen Beverly to be your beloved bride?
Yeah! I now pronounce you husband and knife.
Kind of surprised Woody didn't end up fucking this chick.
Who poisoned the maid of honor?
I always liked Rex. He was probably the funniest character.
Bonnie,
I also like the donkey.
Oh, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play.
Oh, extinction, not again.
Yeah, I always liked Rex.
Screen time's over now.
Okay.
I want to talk to you, Device.
Please, call me Lily.
Me and the toys have been working all summer to try and get Bonnie to make friends.
Yeah.
But then you had to ruin it. You're not even listening to me.
I'm always listening. See? Now look here. Me and the toys have been working all summer. Now in Spanish.
What?
Yeah, I got dibs on behind the dresser.
Woody! Jesse, hello? Is it as bad out there for toys as they say it is?
We're finding more abandoned toys each day.
We're down! Tech's invaded our house, too.
I don't know, Jesse. Toys are for play, but tech is for everything.
I'm losing Bonnie to this device.
You got a friend.
Woody!
Came here as fast as I could.
Why are you wearing a dress, Woody?
It's called a poncho, Forky.
Whoa! Someone needs a brown marker.
Halt! Who goes there? Whoa! I come in peace.
It's been too long, cowboy.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What?
She thinks you're old because you're bald, Woody.
Bonnie needs help from someone at least from the same century.
That's actually a good joke.
So long, toys.
We're gonna need backup. No way. She's getting away, boss! Our mission on this planet is to
I don't know, depending on how they handle that, that might be a good idea. The whole tech thing with children is pretty culturally relevant, so definitely makes sense that they'd have the main villain be some like tech thing. U.S. moving to a potential war with Iran. Okay, like saying the U.S. is going to go to war with Iran is like saying that I'm going to go to war with like a 9-year-old. Like, no, it's not a war with a 9-year-old. I just kick their ass. Like, it's just stupid.
This is an urgent message. The U.S. is ready to attack Iran. It has positioned 2 aircraft carriers, a dozen warships, hundreds of fighter jets, and top advisors.
Conflict would put millions of lives at risk. Not American lives. Endanger tens of thousands of U.S. troops in the region. Nope. Repeat the deadly mistakes of Iraq. Oh, yeah. I love hearing about that. Fuck these dumb bitches. I don't fucking care. She has a old fucking dry saggy pussy. I don't give a fucking shit what she has to say. Total Code Pink victory. And of course fucking dumb bitch ass Hassan is with him. Like, I honestly don't... Like, Hassan is such a fucking bitch. Like, the most beta male faggot in all of fucking history. And then you've got, like, porn stars and shit like Sasha Grey fawning over him. Like, there's definitely a group of women who like fucking beta males because they're just like easy to fucking manipulate and control and get money from. Like, it's gotta be. Because, like, I don't care how good looking you are. Like, Hassan's a good looking guy. Like, I don't think he's, I don't know, Brad Pitt, but he's a good looking guy. But I don't care how fucking good looking you are. Like, if women find out you're a bitch, there's no reason for them to have any interest in you other than, oh, I can take advantage of this dipshit. Like, that's gotta be it. Like, imagine being this much of a fucking beta male dork. You're hanging out with fucking Code Pink. There's a genocide. Think of the children. Like, wow. Just gay as shit. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Frank.
Well, thanks for the donation, Frank. I don't know if Frank uploaded a new video. I'll check in a minute. Thanks for the donation, dude. It's hilarious when a guy who is not natural tries to act like a tough guy. LMAO. Uh-oh! Retard alert! Retard alert! Guess what, dumb fuck? Literal, real tough guys, you know, the people who are responsible for, defending your rights and freedoms, like, fucking Green Berets, Navy SEALs, you know, Special Air Servicemen. Guess what? They're all on fucking steroids, you dumb motherfucker. Do you think special forces, people are paid to fucking murder motherfuckers? People who go to fucking Afghanistan or Pakistan to take out bin Laden? Guess what they do? They take steroids because they fucking work. They make you bigger, stronger, faster. They make you more fearless. They make you better able to handle stress. What a fake tough guy. He had to take fucking steroids. Steroids are for fucking losers. Go to fucking SEAL Team 6 and fucking say that. Guess what? They can kill you with a fucking pencil, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah, like, I love hearing that cope. You're not actually tough because you take steroids. Well, guess what? When I drop you on your fucking head, we'll see who's more fucking tough. $8 let me see. Oh, I hate Bella Ramsey. Oh god, I just... Yeah, that's about right. And they cast her as Ellie. Skip to 507. Let me see. What's my max bench now? I don't test my 1 rep max regularly anyway, because it's just too dangerous. If I had to guess, if I were to do some sort of peaking phase to do a 1 rep max test, it's probably close to 450 by now. 507.
He's got the good knife for it. In the Netherlands, this elderly man was attacked and assaulted by engineers and doctors, the usual suspects. Let's watch.
Oh, shaky boy, fuck the bro. Cuba nu,
Yep, that's Europe for you. So they take away your right to bear arms, they only allow criminals to have guns, and then they import like the most scumbag pieces of shit on planet Earth from fucking Afghanistan and Syria and shit. And then they're like, oh, what are you, racist? Immigrants don't harass people. I can show you some stupid dumb fuck statistic where, see, immigrants don't commit crime. And then, yeah, So, yeah, get the fuck out of Europe while you still can. Just fucking retarded. Watch from 205. Let me see. Oh, yeah, they all say they want to fucking murder Jews and shit. I think I've seen this before.
And all this. He's going to help the people in Pakistan. Great. To sacrifice my own life for Pakistan. That's the spread. Great.
I'll bet that I will save my country.
He will save the country, inshallah.
When I will grow up, I will be an army Pakistan and destroy India.
Read the comments.
In these 6 buses.
Is this, yeah. These are all the scumbag, degenerate fucking women who shacked up with a bunch of terrorists. And, they managed to get their kids imprisoned as well. So, like, yeah. Is Al Jazeera a mouthpiece for terrorists and, ISIS sympathizers? Syrian government should rehabilitate them. They are women and children, and it wasn't their fault. Oh my god. Why did the Syrian government let ISIS prisoners free? These people worship fanatics who behead civilians. Is that a Sith Lord?
If you have that ID.
Baghouz is a Syrian town, not Iraqi. It's on the border or something. Prophet came out on the day of Id and offered to something. Okay. Small boat ride is inevitable. Poor children. Blah, blah. Okay, none of these comments are interesting. Dodo, let me see.
At least they didn't put MS Rachel in the new Toy Story movie. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be bad. I'm glad they didn't. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. I think she's too controversial of a figure for them to take that kind of risk. M donated $2. Let me see.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
Okay, that's nice. Thanks for the donation, M. Dodo donated $2. You make a point.
About shark attacks, who talked about Arnold Palmer's penis at a rally, who did an impression of someone doing oral sex on a microphone at a rally. There's been no president like this. I hate George W. Bush, but I would put George Bush 100 times above Donald Trump in terms of intellectual and mental fitness for office. You cannot question any Democrat's intellectual fitness for office when you have supported this man, the most deranged man, your words, deranged, mad, nuts man, in office.
Just to be clear,
this is a man who couldn't find Taiwan on a map. His life depended on it.
Mehdi, here's the problem. I'm afraid, listen, you know I like you, I respect you very much. You've built an amazing business with Zeteo. Congratulations. But one of the reasons Donald Trump got re-elected is that you guys have got literally Trump derangement syndrome. It plays into his hands.
Dude, what's hilarious? Muslims banded together to vote for Trump. People like Mehdi are the reason Trump got elected, because they were the ones fucking saying, oh, the Democrats are committing a genocide. They're helping Israel commit a genocide. And then this dumbass is fucking saying, oh, how could you promote Trump? You promoted Trump, you stupid motherfucker. You're the ones fucking talking about how the Democrats are committing a fucking genocide. And then the Muslims came together and were like, well, I guess we have to vote for Trump because what other choice do we have? Might as well take a gamble. Like, this guy's a fucking joke. Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care. While the U.S. pursues this deliberate campaign of suffering, Ottawa has once again chosen the path of procedural dithering, offering words instead of action. I'm not the one who voted for the fucking liberals, so don't blame me, dude. Why are we preparing for a major war with Iran over their nuclear program when this is on White House website? Iran's nuclear facility has been obliterated, blah, blah, blah. It's not just due to the nuclear program. Like, just Twitter brain, right? This has completely ruined my day. I can't anymore. Poor little punch. Is that just the, yeah, whatever. Alien life. Government files related to alien extraterrestrial life. Why don't you just tell us that you know nothing at all about aliens? Keep on target. That would make things easier. Guess it distracts people from the Epstein files. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
What's your thoughts on the Epstein file shit? Is it mostly bullshit? I feel like Epstein is mostly innocent. Most of the claims are coming from crazy woman. I'm not saying he was perfect, but holy hell he's not Hitler lol. Are you playing RE4 tonight?
Probably not gonna play RE4 tonight. It seems like in all likelihood the Epstein file thing is just a big nothing burger, and the worst that he might be guilty of is, like, maybe he bought a prostitute and thought she was 18 at least, and turns out she was like 16 or something. That seems to be the worst case scenario, honestly. And like, just because of the weird thing that people have with like teen girls and like older men at this point, it's just not politically good for some of this stuff to come out. So like Trump is hiding stuff. Knowing how Trump has not been faithful in his marriage, there's a very good chance he fucked like an 18 or 19-year-old or something, or maybe even like a 17-year-old without knowing, you know, some Russian prostitute. And he's just trying to hide some of that stuff, you know, and that seems to be what's going on. Like, again, supposedly there's thousands of victims, but when you look at the actual indictments, they're only able to find like 4 witnesses that aren't even particularly credible. They've lied about major facts, and like it just doesn't seem to add up. And the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, it just seems like it was a sham trial. Like, she at least deserves a retrial. Thanks for the donation though, Mac Daddy. Dodo donate $2. Yep, let me see. Trump is reportedly weighing a limited military strike on Iran to pressure Tehran into accepting his nuclear deal demands aimed at boosting leverage without sparking full-scale conflict. Oh, that's just a bad idea. Just fucking regime change. Oh. How come some kitties are mean? Some kitties are nice and they just play, but some are mean. I love kitties. Mr. Kitters is nice. Zelensky sounds fed up as fuck. Oh yeah, I bet.
Speak about it and etc. But I don't need to waste time on historic issues, reasons why he began all this, I think, bullshit, what he's raising with Americans and etc. That it's not simple things about the Peter the First and etc. I don't need it, because for end this war and to go to diplomatic way, I don't need all this historical shit.
Yeah. No, he's fed up. Yeah, Gummy did, or not Gummy, Prismo. I was deadlifting like over 405, and then he decided to like sit right under where I needed to put the weight, and I had to yell at him to get the fuck out of the way. They're both both sides. Oh my god, just why? Well, at least she's nice to her cats. She looks pretty cute. I like her boobs. Look at those kitties. Oh. are some good kitties. It's a good mama cat. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. $8 watch from 140. Do you like India media?
Killing 2 soldiers.
Never really watched Indian media before.
This is what has happened
Okay, are there like body parts blown to bits?
today. Is a Hamas-style attack. What happened on October 17th? I want people of India must wake up. We have people who are Hamas supporters in our country. We are people, and this is a Hamas-style attack. It's like Israel was attacked by the Hamas on October 17th. This date today will go in history, ladies and gentlemen. The 22nd of April is to India what October 7th or 17th was to the Israelis.
You know, I'm surprised the U.S. historically has sided more with Pakistan. It's really weird. Thanks for the donation, eh? Dodo donated $2. Lenski was sounding like you a bit there, kind of like how you respond to questions you get asked that you've been answering over and over for the last 10 years now. Also, she sounds very deep into TikTok communist brainwash. Watch 10 seconds.
We're in a situation in which the violence of the economy has reached a very, very obscene peak. We have actually 12 people in the world owning more than the bottom 4 billion people. We've built it. We need to see how the systemic forces trap us and shape us.
Yeah, it's hilarious. You'll notice they use the same language, like when they talk about feminist-specific issues, like the patriarchy and stuff. They use the exact same fucking language when they're talking about the economy. That isn't a coincidence. This is all a communist psyop.
But we're the architects, so there is space for alternatives if we build them.
How do you actually think change would happen? Are you a revolutionary? Hello?
Like, imagine if we... Like, it's just so weird when people make assumptions like this. You can see distributions aren't spread equally in, like, any system. Like, look at Tinder. I think the figure that, like, for most of these dating sites, something like 20% of the men get 80% of the women or something. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, there's people who are better looking than you, taller, have more wealth, they've got bigger dicks, and they're just more interesting to most women. Should we have some, like, pussy redistribution system where ugly dudes are just given women or something? Like, this is what incels, say. And when incels make this argument, like, everybody's like, oh my god, that's disgusting. How can you, like, force a woman to be with you? Oh, you're such a sexist. And then they're saying basically the same shit, but, like, rather than, pussy redistribution, they're talking about wealth redistribution. So it's like, oh, I'm a lazy, unproductive, retarded fuck. Give me money. I'm ugly and have a small dick and I'm annoying. Give me pussy. Like, it's literally the same argument.
From now on, I'm coming here every Wednesday. Session's gonna be in here. I'll see you.
Dude, that is just such a fucking big, thick tank ass.
This fucking always happens. It always fucking happens when, you know what? I go in the gym and I'm like, I gotta take it light. I really need to like do a deload week. I know I need it. And then I do a set like this, and I'm like, fuck this deload shit. No, yeah. I just got all the intensified. But if you
I appreciate this cameraman focusing on the important bits. Speaking of L's, where's that video? Wait. There we go. Yeah, that's good. We need more of this. If only, Vegan Booty wouldn't post about some Palestine bullshit and would just post some more girl-on-girl stuff. Or, just stick with veganism. That'd be cool. I like, watching girls do things with each other. That's always fun.
yeah, this week is I'll test out how I feel, how I look. Also, for the first time in my life, I'm gonna have 2 days off before my first leg session of the week, which is Saturday, Sundays off.
Should be fresh.
Dodo Donny Tillers, you still have to watch the Veritasium video open. Do you still have the Veritasium video open? Because you need to watch that. Also, this is who Jasmine Crockett is running against in the Democratic primary for Texas Senate.
What is your stance on Israel, especially as a man of such deep faith? What is your stance on Israel and AIPAC?
Well, I've never taken money from AIPAC, and I'm not taking money from AIPAC.
So, first of all, this guy's a beta male.
In this campaign, seeing what's happening in Gaza makes me sick to my stomach. As a teacher, as a Christian, as a human.
Okay, yeah, this guy's a beta male. Like, super ultra gay-ass beta male. You can just tell this little bitch wakes up in the morning. Is my hair perfect? I gotta make sure the stupid waves in my hair go around the right way. Oh, it's curling a little bit. I gotta make sure. I gotta get the fucking hair glue in my hair. There we go. That's just right. Fucking gay-ass twink bitch.
Being. And our country.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett's way more fucking based. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I mean, I hope I will be okay with it mentally. I think I will.
We're going to see a lot of movies.
Right, but also Friday is my craziest session.
Yeah.
Friday is my craziest session of the week.
Oh man.
On purpose, so that I recover Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Down.
There needs to be more vegan girls like this who are taking steroids. Like, there just has to be this,
That's 6 plates. What is this, PR?
Yep. I'm going to live light today.
Huh?
I'm going to live light today.
Wait, let me do that before you say it.
Mm.
You.
Russia, I will never forfeit. That's 4 bars. Google bring the chorus in. Pitch and you will punch it.
I know you think all 3 is retarded, but if you had to rank the 3 from most stupid to least stupid, how would you? Jim Bob, Jay Dyer, and Andrew Wilson. Also, my girl let me fuck her ass after a party at the bar through her sorority. It felt so good. Damn.
That's nice. I like how buttholes are like super, super warm. You actually lose a lot of body heat through like your butt. Like your groin-ish area and your taint, like that's the warmest spot in your whole body. So like especially after girls are like working out and stuff and get sweaty, like their butts just get so fucking hot that you can actually like feel the heat radiating off. Oh, it feels so good. I would say Andrew Wilson is the least retarded, then Jim Bob is the second least retarded, and then Jay Dyer's the biggest retard. Like, Andrew Wilson is smart enough to not completely deny the existence of dinosaurs. And Jim Bob is also clearly smart enough to realize his Christian presuppositionalist shit just doesn't work on, like, when he's against a competent debate opponent and shit. Jay Dyer just refuses to accept anything. And he just goes full on, like, fucktard all the time. So yeah, Jay Dyer's the biggest retard. He's also obsessed with gay sex. I think he's a closeted, like, homosexual. That is weird how the guy just constantly started talking about gay sex when I was talking to him. I think he literally wants to suck my dick. Thanks for the donation though, Mac Daddy. Dodo donated $2, no VG, it gets worse, watch to the end.
Our country's role in that slaughter makes me feel complicit in it. I think all Americans should feel that. Yeah. There was a theologian who said, I screamed at God for the starving children until I realized the starving children was God screaming at me. I think God is screaming at us in Gaza right now, screaming at all of us. And so I've said,
I want to kick him really hard. I want to kick him and like watch him like actually cry like a girl. I bet this like dipshit loser would actually start crying like a girl if I kicked him. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Very deep voice. Is that why they call him Ducky? He does have a pretty deep voice for a cat. Wow, he's very handsome. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donates $2. Let me see.
Exclusive new details about a controversial push from ICE to purchase a luxury Boeing jet. The price tag, $70 million, all of it taxpayer money. Julia Ainsley is here now. Julia, what are you learning about this jet?
Tom, we've obtained pictures from inside the Boeing 737 MAX 8 Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem has recently been leasing. ICE is now waiting on the White House to approve the $70 million purchase of this plane, which comes equipped with a bedroom, multiple showers, large screen TVs, and a bar. A DHS spokesperson said the plane will also be used for deportations. But two DHS officials involved in the purchase say they're skeptical the plane will be used for anything more than
it's a luxury jet.
Noem's travel. It's worth noting DHS already has a plane for the secretary. It's owned by the Coast Guard and was recently upgraded to a Gulfstream jet. Tom?
All right, Julia.
Dude, Kristi Noem is like one of the most disgusting bitches I've ever seen in my fucking life. I hate this cunt. Just disgusting, evil, fucking piece of shit of a fucking human being. Hope she fucking crashes and burns in that fucking jet, dog-killing bitch. So dumb they are blaming the principal when he obviously didn't do anything wrong. They just believe in spirit nonsense because they're a woman.
Did being hypnotized lead to their deaths? That's the question about 3 high school students who died within weeks of each other after allegedly being hypnotized by their principal. Allison Hall has the details.
These 3 teens from the same high...
Oh boy. Here we fucking go.
School died within weeks of each other, and they had all undergone hypnosis by their school principal. Now the baffling story is the subject of a new investigation discovery documentary, The Curious Case of the Principal Who Hypnotized His School.
How dare he?
Principal George Kenny hypnotized 16-year-old Marcus Freeman to improve his football performance. But Marcus lost his life in a car crash after he apparently hypnotized himself. His girlfriend Carly O'Boyle was in the car and survived the 2011 accident.
Can you talk about the day of the crash? What happened?
I look over. Oh, this is a nightmare image in my head, mind you.
So he was on drugs.
And his arms are straight and his head is just back.
Yeah. So he did fentanyl. Yeah, the shoulder lean.
Like that. He's out of it.
Did they test him for fucking fentanyl after the crash? That literally sounds like he did fentanyl.
Then another hypnosis subject, 16-year-old Wesley McKinley, took his own life. And Wesley's death was followed by yet another suicide, that of Brittany Palumbo, who was allegedly hypnotized by the principal months before for test anxiety. After an investigation,
she probably thought she'd get more attention if she killed herself. But she didn't really think it through.
Anxiety without a license, a misdemeanor. Therapeutic hypnosis. After an investigation, the principal was charged with practicing therapeutic hypnosis without a license, a misdemeanor.
Why the fuck would you need a license for that?
He pleaded no contest. He was put on probation and resigned. Wesley.
Okay, people are so fucking stupid. How Jewish American pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. I don't know why this isn't loading. I've heard of some of this crap. Is it because of a non-extradition treaty or something? This literally isn't fucking loading. I think YouTube's just being fucking stupid or some shit. Yeah, I can't watch that. Whatever. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo Tiller as well. I got some surprising good news so we can remain hopeful. Let me see. Yay! Oh, that is good. Dude, you're just look at this fucking twink beta male bitch. I'm pretty fucking confident, if they were to get into a cage match, Jasmine Crockett would probably beat this little fucking dude's ass. This guy, has no nuts. So, yeah, normally I'd say, yeah, don't vote for the woman. Jasmine Crockett's actually fucking based, and she could kick this guy's ass. This dude's, the epitome of a beta male fucking twink. But that's good news. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. What about Darth Dawkins? Where does he rank on the retard scale? I don't know enough about him. I've heard of him. I don't know if I've ever seen him debate or anything. I've just never caught a video about him. Heard he's stupid.
Damn, I thought I was gonna fail that one and fall. That's it.
Even this one, if you failed at the bottom, you'd be fine.
Dude, if she had an OnlyFans where she showed full nudes, I'd fucking pay for it. I'd love to see her fucking ass.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Still, I did what, 8.5?
Yeah.
That's good. I'll do one more of this.
I just love her thick ass thighs and her big ass.
Oh shit.
I don't know if that's her coach or her boyfriend or both. Dude. If I saw a girl like this at the fucking gym, I'd be like, do you have anyone eating your ass for you? Like, damn. Oh man, I just want to get right in there.
I'm just screen grabbing them. Look in the mirror. Yeah.
She has to have the like thickest fucking muscular ass I've ever fucking seen. You know, it's actually fucking crazy. I used to train hockey players, like hockey teams, at a gym that was like at a hockey rink, and we got in some girls' hockey teams. There was a girl, I think it was for the Scarborough Sharks. She had quads that looked like this. And she only just started like weight training at our gym, and her quads already looked like this. Like not quite as big, obviously, like she's, 16, but really fucking close. Like, she had the fucking most insane Dragon Ball Z legs I'd ever fucking seen. I was teaching her how to do squats, and she was like worried about like hurting herself or like lifting too much weight or something. I convinced her to just start off with, 25 pounds aside. Did that easy, obviously. Then I said, like, you can do 135, no problem. Like, just put on the big plates. And then, like, she did 135. Again, easy as fuck. Then I added on another, like, 25 on each side, so she's up to 185. And this is somebody who's never squatted before in her life. And this is a girl who's 16. Did it easy.
You spend 3 hours on a push-up all day, but on leg day does 3 measly exercises and makes a 265 pounds squat look heavy. Crying face emoji, 6+ months on gear BTW.
Well, I was doing 315 on the squats. I ended up hurting my quad. I think I fixed the issue though. It's due to like immobility in my knee. But my quads are growing. I don't fucking care, dude. I don't need to justify anything to you. Whatever. Again, in a few months, I'll be bigger, stronger, and then, like, all you fucking retards will have some other stupid shit to complain about. Like, oh, look, you're getting angry again. Your brain's decaying from steroids. The only reason you're bigger and stronger than me now is because you're on steroids. Oh, yeah, well, who cares if you can fucking squat 500 pounds for 10 reps? You're gonna die at 40. Like, I hear it all the time, dude. I don't fucking care. Like, keep coping. So, I got her to do 185 on the squats. Again, lifted it fucking easy, and I wanted her to just keep going, but she was, like, too afraid to use any more weight. But her quads actually looked like this. Like, obviously not quite as big, but that chick had the most, like, crazy Dragon Ball Z fucking leg genetics I've ever fucking seen in my life. God damn, dude, I just want to fucking squeeze those big fucking cheeks. it's just so fucking nice. How do you, like, I just don't understand how these girls don't get fucking attacked in the gym. Like, I just want to fucking dive right in that ass.
Look in the mirror. Yeah.
Mega Amino. Coaching, TikTok. God damn it. No OnlyFans. That's too bad. Wait, what was that? Spartan Meal? TikTok.
I have not gone enhanced for like 15, 16 weeks. I just started my deficit and I just started a small cycle, you know, just to help during the deficit. This is where I would actually incorporate it in my case right now. But
a small cycle is because they think a small cycle is 100 mgs of test a week.
Oh my God, I can't believe people, you know, even some clients of mine, they ask me because they think.
I actually really like her lips too. She has like really nice full sexy lips.
Watch up until 3 minutes on 1,5 speed. It shows how silly Darth is.
Well, ask yourselves, debated him. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, Kay.
I take a lot of things.
Call cucks like Larry Wheels gay, but don't you think liking tomboys and muscular women shows gay feelings too? No. There's... How do I explain this? Like, just because you like masculine qualities in women, that doesn't mean you like men. It just means you like masculine qualities in women. Like, there's nothing gay about that.
Because of how I look. And they're like, so what do you think about trend? You know, can we use that? Or what do you think about Bolden? Or what do you think about this? By the way, it's like many clients that have asked me this before. And I always feel like they're asking that because they think I would be okay with it. I am not okay with that. I'm not, I know my, but truly it is.
If you want, Darth, we can continue talking about agnosticism, but you got somewhat frustrated last time, so I don't know if you want to deal with me further on that topic.
Well, it's just very simple. You're speaking forth facts without God. Right?
Yeah, this guy sounds like a fuckwit. I can tell just by his voice.
Sorry, I meant the question about whether agnosticism is contradictory.
Yeah, it's a contradiction because it basically is claiming not to make a declaration about ultimate reality, but it most certainly is making a declaration about ultimate reality. In other words, an ultimate reality need not be stipulated in order to invoke one or more intelligible facts.
It's not clear to me how agnosticism is saying that.
It's saying it indirectly, sir, by implication.
How is that?
Either a fact will be invoked in reference to God or without God. There's no middle ground. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, agnostics basically are speaking forth facts or propositions without referencing God as their foundation, that the facts are viable and intelligible without reference to God. But they don't want to bring themselves to say there is no God, but they're still operating from a not God position. But they think that they're being modest or humble in that they're not outright denying God. Yeah, the agnostic is basically by implication saying, I'm going to operate in a world where certain propositions and facts are viable and intelligible without explicitly referencing God. Okay, so you're operating without God, but you're open to changing your mind. That's the agnostic position. Okay. Another problem is agnosticism is a claim, I don't know that any creator God exists or does not exist. Now, if that statement is true, then it necessarily follows that Christianity is false. Now, if it necessarily follows that Christianity is false, then the agnostic knows that at least one major contender for creator God does not exist, thereby contradicting the agnostic statement.
Wait, so which propositions form the contradiction?
When the agnostic position declares, I don't know that any creator God does or does not exist. If that statement is true, then it necessarily follows Christianity is false.
But which propositions? But that it wasn't an answer to what I asked.
Is the agnostic position to say I don't know that any God does or does not exist? Is that the agnostic position?
Wait, I'm happy to answer, but I asked first. I want to know what the contradiction is. What propositions form the contradiction?
The contradiction is that they don't know that any God exists, but it follows from that Christianity is false, and since it follows from that, then they know the Christian God doesn't exist.
Wait, but so the contradiction... Sorry, I mean, it's going to get pedantic, so we can stop here if you want, but I don't understand...
It's a contradiction by implication. The contradiction is not explicit, it is implicit.
Right, but the contradiction is presumably P and not P, so I'm just wondering what P is supposed to be here.
Okay, the position is P, I don't know that any God exists.
Okay, and not P.
From that, Christianity is defined as God being revelatory. Okay? If agnosticism is true, then it necessarily...
If it's true that I don't know? Is this guy retarded?
Necessarily follows the falsity of the Christian God.
But why is it relevant if it follows the falsity of the Christian God? How does that get to a contradiction?
Does it necessarily follow, if agnosticism is true, that the Christian God is false?
If the argument, I think so, if the argument is something like, if the Christian God exists, then everyone knows he exists, someone doesn't know he exists, therefore the Christian God doesn't exist, right? You could set up like a modus.
You could put it that way, yeah. Does it necessarily follow, if the agnostic statement is true, then it necessarily follows from that the Christian God does not exist?
I'm going with your interpretation of the God, but yes, I think so.
Okay. Well, then the agnostic then knows that at least one creator God does not exist.
How is it that... Wait, but what are the... I'm still lost on what the contradiction is. Which proposition forms the contradiction?
Because the Christian God is defined as being revelatory and having made his existence known. If the agnostic truly does not know that any God exists, then the Christian God is false.
Yeah, but I'm not disagreeing. So if the inference is just that modus tollens, if the Christian God exists, then everyone knows he exists. Someone doesn't know he exists, therefore he doesn't exist. I could agree with that and still ask.
But then if the agnostic does not know that any God exists, then he knows that the Christian God. If the agnostic knows that he does not know whether God does or does not exist, and that is true, then he knows the Christian God does not exist, contradicting his position.
Wait, why does the agnostic have?
How many times do we have to go over this?
Well, wait. So
I mean, seriously, you're like a little 12-year-old child.
Well, I mean, whatever. We don't have to go any further. Like, I
mean, we've been.
I like this guy, how this guy says, you're like a 12-year-old child, but he believes in fucking Sky Santa.
We've been over this a bazillion times.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm stuck on, and you can have the last word. How about that? So what I'm stuck on is I can see your inference, right? If it's just a modus tollens, if the Christian God exists, everyone knows he exists, someone doesn't know he exists, therefore he doesn't exist, right? That sounds fine to me. I'm okay with that argument. But what I don't understand is what propositions form the contradiction. Presumably P and not P. P is the same in both instances. So I don't see how you're getting to it simultaneously being the case that the agnostic knows. Can I just finish the sentence? And you can just let me finish the sentence, and you can have as long as you want, Darth. So I'm just not seeing how you get from the agnostic isn't sure if God exists to it's not the case that the agnostic isn't sure if God exists. All you're showing with that argument is that it's entailed that the Christian God doesn't exist. It's not entailed that he knows it, right? So it's not you're not gonna get a contradiction.
No, he would know the Christian God does not exist, because he knows that he doesn't know that God does or does not exist. Therefore, it excludes the Christian God from existing.
I said I'd give you the last word, so I'll call it there.
Yeah, I mean we've been over this a dozen times.
That was nonsensical, incomprehensible horseshit. Yeah, that guy's a full-on retard. Well, glad I never had to deal with that guy. Oh my god, dude. Fuck. Son of a bitch. We need more vegan girls taking steroids. Like, we just need that. Bro. I'm actually, like, seriously miring the quad gains. She mugs me in the ass department, for sure. But, like, she's also mugging me on the quads. I really like her lips, too. I think she's so pretty. Fucking hell. I could just look at this all day. Hmm. I like that. I like that a lot. Jesus. If there were girls stripping down to their underwear like this at any gyms nearby, I'd probably bother going to a commercial gym if I got a view like that. Oh my god, man. I just love how big and juicy. They're like big fucking ham hocks. Yeah, she's got a boyfriend. That's a shame. Pretty sure I mog her boyfriend, though. Yeah, I'm mogging this dude. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's her boyfriend or whatever. Alright, I gotta step my game up. Yeah, maybe this guy just shrinks a lot when he's off cycle. He looks way smaller in some shots. Well, I like her bum. That's all that really matters.
This is definitely not stable.
Nope.
Ew. Ew.
No.
Good connection.
It's good. You like that, Smith?
I mean, yeah, but I can't go heavy because it's,
I know. I saw.
you know? But still, we got the set. Like, you know, like this.
You know, it's crazy to me, like, how powerful steroids are. They're just incredible fucking drugs. And, like, society is being gaslit on, like, avoiding steroids for some fucking reason, but then you have, like, all these fucking, like, deranged retards drinking alcohol, smoking weed, fucking doing, like, even harder drugs, like fucking meth and shit. And like, yeah, the one drug that like turns you into a fucking superhuman, it's like, oh, that's bad, cheating. Fucking stupid. That water is probably pretty dirty. Well, that wasn't very smart. Would I travel to my ancestral homeland of Antigua? Apparently it's actually pretty nice. So, I don't know.
Pet has died. The concept was to make a video of the pet while it's still alive, telling the child it's in animal heaven now. I hired the only voice actor that responded to my Craigslist ad to be the dog.
Oh, it's me, Maddie. I'm in heaven now. So sorry I died. I miss you so much. I'm happy here, so I'm not coming home. I miss
Why doesn't talk like that?
Oh, goodbye.
It's okay.
He hated his dog's voice. Idea for a
What kind of sick fuck would think of doing this? That is actually fucked. Do you like the Aston Martin 177? There's only 77 made, best looking car. Let me see if I've seen it. Well, thank fuck. They ruined the styling on one of their cars. I can't remember which one. They put this like big plastic stupid thing on the rear that said Aston Martin, like as if it was like a child's toy or something. At least they only have like the small Aston badge here. I don't think this is the prettiest rear end, but it's decent. It's a handsome looking car. Doesn't knock my socks off or anything. Like it's, if you told me there's only 77 of these and it's like some ultra rare small production car, like it's just not the type of car I'd expect. Aston Martin's like, they're a dumb British company. They have some new cars that are like really nice, but yeah, this wouldn't be my pick of their whole lineup. If I could have any Aston Martin, it'd be the Valkyrie. Like, the Aston Martin Valkyrie is just the craziest fucking thing ever. I think it was the Vantage that had that stupid fucking rear end. Oh, did they change it? It still has the stupid fucking Why? Like, as if nobody can tell it's a fucking Aston Martin, and then they have to, like, remind you, Aston Martin, I gotta put the fucking word on the back so people know what the fucking car is. Like, seriously? That's stupid. Like, so fucking stupid. It looks like they changed, like, because that was bad before. Yeah, the Valhalla looks cool. They had some other car that looked, it looked like the fucking Ford Mustang. Yeah, this is it. The Velour. This literally looks like like some weird Ford Mustang with a body kit. I thought that had really weird styling. I don't know why they did that. Yeah, it looks like a Mustang with a body kit. The Valkyrie is just like god tier. That thing's fucking insane. Like, if you gave me any one of these, I'd be like, yeah, please. The Valkyrie's super fucking cool. Oh yeah, that's their formula car. Thanks for the donation, though. I don't think that's their best looking car. But thanks for the donation, dude. Dodo donates watch Veritasium now. I'm bored of this. Okay, we'll do that soon. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donates you watching Muscle Mommies while you eat dinner is like Sverage watching music videos while he eats. I guess. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. We'll skip through this, okay? Just for you. Dude, I'm getting so fucking horny on the higher doses of test, like it's actually making me fucking sick. Like, I've resisted the urge to not make a Tinder account, but it's getting hard. You spent the last half hour looking at asses. Is it worse than reacting to fucking horse shit? Like, I mean... Like, yeah, maybe for some of you, watching me rage at fucking Piers Morgan interviews is more entertaining, but... Girls' butts drive me nuts. Alright. Veritasium. Okay, YouTube's broken. Yeah, YouTube's like actually broken. Oh, there we go. I was having a similar problem when I tried to look back at the workout stream. There's something like broken with YouTube right now.
There are no hot singles in your area. Perhaps you'll reconnect with Jazz Mongold through Tinder. Heard she's on it and in your area. Get a fleshlight.
Well, first of all, I fucking doubt it. Second of all, like... Never. Ever. Never, ever, ever going back to that bullshit. I can do a hell of a lot better. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
There's just everywhere. Well, this is really blue. You should come, like, this is so blue. Look at how many you're finding. I feel like all of them. Precious. If it weren't so dangerous, it'd be a fun activity to do.
These are the big... So what about all the parcels we can't see?
This same kind of material was used in the construction of the World Trade Center buildings. And when the towers fell, it was pulverized to microscopic size and released into the air.
So that's why so many people got lung cancer after the thing.
Particles remained airborne for days, and thousands of people unknowingly breathed them in. They buried themselves deep within people's lungs, wreaking havoc and causing all sorts of diseases.
We've known for decades that these particles are extremely dangerous. But when the towers fell, no one was warned.
The concentrations are such that they don't pose a health hazard.
And yet today, the diseases linked to that dust have killed more than twice as many people as the attacks themselves. Once we started looking, we kept finding this material in places we never expected.
He was telling the newspapers, people aren't just eating it and breathing it, they're mainlining it.
In popular off-roading spots, in makeup, and even kids' toys.
Say it ain't so, Mickey Mouse crayons.
No. It's been detected in the dust around schools and homes.
5 generations of people died up there.
And instead of banning it outright, we let it spread. Some countries are still importing hundreds of thousands of tons each year, and it's estimated that by 2035, nearly 2.8 million people might die because of it. This is a video about a deadly miracle material we can't stop using. This investigation is based on publicly available documents, recordings, and third-party sources. All of our links are in the description. Thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video. More about them later. There is a story about the ancient Greeks from around the 2nd century AD. They had this golden lantern that would burn for a whole year without going out, all because of a very special wick that just wouldn't burn down. So how did they develop this technology? Well, the truth is, they didn't. They found it. Imagine you're walking around 2,000 years ago and you see this fluffy looking stuff poking out the ground. It's got all of these fibers that you can pull apart and twist into shapes.
First off, let's get a nice bundle. So it looks like cotton.
Yeah, it looks like it would burn really well. Like it would just...
Yeah, you can start a fire with it, right? All right.
Okay, let's see what happens.
But it's not burning.
That's because this is actually a rock. It's a naturally occurring mineral.
The core building block is simple. It's a silicon atom surrounded by 4 oxygen atoms.
Now, silicon has 4 electrons in its outer shell, but it really wants 8. So each of the oxygen...
Eyes on the video, VG. All right. Try my best to pay attention. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
shares 1 electron with it. But oxygen doesn't share evenly. Since it's more electronegative than silicon, it pulls those shared electrons closer to itself. This leaves the oxygen side slightly negative and the silicon side slightly positive. Now there's an electrostatic attraction between these atoms which pulls the atoms closer together and strengthens this bond. The result is an incredibly stable pyramid-shaped unit called a silica tetrahedron. But if you look at the oxygens in these corner spots, they've only shared 1 electron, but they actually want 2 to complete their outer shells. So the corners link up with other silicon atoms to form more tetrahedra, and in this way the structure just keeps growing.
The bonds inside here are incredibly strong and stable, and because the atoms are already tightly bound to the oxygens inside the silicate structure, the oxygen in the air has nothing to react with, so the material doesn't burn.
But overall, there's nothing special about these building blocks. More than 90% of the Earth's minerals are made from this stuff, everything from quartz to clay.
What makes this material special is how those units link up.
Here, the tetrahedra have formed a sheet, and bonded to it, there is actually a second sheet made of magnesium atoms and hydroxyl groups, which are just an oxygen and a hydrogen stuck together. Now, the atomic spacings of these 2 layers are slightly different, so there's a tiny mismatch which causes tension between these layers, causing them to curl up, and you end up with these tiny scroll-like tubes. These tubes don't break down easily under heat. The structure stays stable up to around 600 degrees Celsius.
So like all these individual fibers that you see running through here, those are all like these scrolls.
Yes.
What is that? What was that meant?
I remember when the U.S. Made the M60 machine gun, they issued it with an asbestos glove. And it's so that you could use the glove to touch the hot barrel and change the barrels. Not a great idea.
That's just a place where I twisted the fiber with my tweezers.
Okay.
And when you twist these fibers, they actually don't break. So it's literally a rock you can weave. And when you do, the fibers form a tangled layered structure. So if heat is introduced, it has to pass from fiber to fiber across many contact points with air filling the spaces between them. This reduces how quickly heat can spread through the material. Because of that, people started weaving it into things like theater curtains and insulation blankets for steam engines, even fireproof clothing. Essentially anywhere they didn't want something to catch fire.
But by far the most important use came around in the 1800s.
Between 1790 and 1870, the number of people living in urban areas in America jumped from 1 in 20 to around 1 in 4. So to accommodate this, people had to tack on extra floors onto existing buildings, and courtyards would then be filled with makeshift extensions, effectively tightly packing all of these buildings together. Pretty much all these buildings were made out of wood, but the people inside still cooked with open flames, they used gas lamps, they lit candles, so one accident and an entire neighborhood could go up in flames. That reality hit New York City in December 1835. When, within a span of just 2 days, 3 separate fires erupted in Manhattan. One bystander described what followed as an ocean of fire, with roaring, rolling, burning waves. By the end, a third of a mile of Manhattan was engulfed, destroying nearly 700 buildings at a cost of $20 million. That's over $730 million of today's money. Similar catastrophes were happening in cities all over the world: Chicago, London, Hamburg, Tokyo.
When will this appalling rate of destruction come to an end?
The problem was that when a building burned, it spewed up embers into the air. These then got...
No, I actually learned that from Gun Jesus. You know, what's his name? Forgotten Weapons. Is his name Ethan? Oh my god. Yeah, YouTube's fucked right now. Yeah,
hey guys,
I
thanks for
think it
tuning
was
in to
this
another video on
video.
ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and I'm here today at the Shooter's Outpost Museum in Hooksett, New Hampshire, taking a look at a gun that is far from forgotten. This is the iconic, the pig, the M60.
It was one of the videos on the M60 that I learned it was issued with an asbestos glove. He had one of them. M240... M60 prototype. Yeah, he made some video on the M60 and he showed it was issued with an asbestos glove. Dude, it's so gay that they made machine guns illegal. It's just liberal, retarded brain rot. Like, these dumb motherfuckers don't even know how guns work. It's so stupid, man. Like, there's no point whatsoever now of keeping machine guns illegal. Like, it's only in really, really marginal circumstances where full auto fire would actually give you an advantage when it comes to a mass shooting. Like, that Vegas shooting at the country music thing, that guy might have benefited from a full auto machine gun, but like he had a bump fire stock, and I mean, like, these days too, you can just get either an echo trigger or a forced reset trigger, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Just make machine guns legal.
Got carried by the wind and landed onto other roofs, setting them alight. So 23 years after the Great Fire of New York, a 21-year-old named Henry Ward Johns set out to break that chain reaction by making roofs fireproof. But that's trickier than it sounds. Whatever his solution was, it had to be usable across an entire city. So cheap and easy enough to mass produce, durable enough to sit exposed on rooftops, baking in the summer sun, freezing in the winter, and most importantly, it was not allowed to ignite even when exposed to burning embers. Now, Johns knew of a mineral that was already being spun into fireproof fabric, but only the long fibers were useful for thread. The shorter ones were actually swept aside as waste. Johns realized those scraps were exactly what he needed: fireproof, tough, and most importantly, cheap. So he set up a makeshift lab in his basement apartment and started experimenting. He heated up tar in his tea kettle, smeared that onto cloth, and then pressed in these tiny fibers. Then he ringed the whole thing through his wife's brand new clothes wringer, and when he tested it, it worked. It didn't burn. In 1868, Henry Ward Johns patented his invention, and by 1927, the company he built was generating $45 million in annual sales, more than $800 million in today's money. Soon, people were using this fire-resistant stuff in all kinds of building materials. Across America, consumption grew from around 20,400 tons in 1900 to a peak of 803,000 tons in 1973. Because of that, pretty much every building in the US, public or private, commercial or residential, used some form of this material. During that same period, stronger building codes, safer heating systems, and other fire-resistant materials were also introduced, and it showed. During that time, fire-related deaths dropped around 80%. So this material likely helped save millions of lives worldwide. Because it couldn't be destroyed by fire, the name the ancient Greeks gave it stuck around. They called it inextinguishable, or asbestos.
Asbestos, the remarkable mineral.
By the mid-20th century, asbestos was everywhere. Inside brake pads, toasters, ironing boards, hair dryers, surgical dressings and blankets. You know, brewers filtered beer through it.
Brake pads are like one of the worst things you could put that in.
One brand of toothpaste even used it for extra polish. The fake snow in department store windows and in movies like The Wizard of Oz, all of that's asbestos too.
Holy shit. My God. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
Unusual weather would happen, ain't it?
Sorry, Dorothy. It was such a big deal, Marvel even had a villain called...
Dude, did the entire cast die of, like, fucking lung cancer?
Asbestos Lady. She'd set a fire to escape the police, and she'd easily walk through it safe inside her asbestos bodysuit.
To feed this demand, asbestos was pulled out of the ground on an enormous scale. Major mining operations spread across Canada.
Do you like lead or asbestos more? I think I'd have to go with lead.
Russia and South Africa, with global production peaking at approximately 4.8 million tons
I'd
per
rather
year
get lead
in
poisoning,
1977.
honestly.
But the reason asbestos ended up in so many different products is because it's actually a group of different minerals. That white fluffy stuff we tried to burn earlier, it's called chrysotile, and it belongs to a mineral family known as the serpentines. But other types of asbestos looked completely different. For instance, there is also brown asbestos, known as amosite. It forms thick fibers that almost look like wood splinters, strong, stable, and highly heat resistant. So it was perfect for putting into building materials like cement panels. This type belongs to a different mineral family, the amphiboles. Here, instead of forming sheets, the silica tetrahedra lock into rigid ladder-like chains. In amosite, iron and magnesium ions, along with hydroxyl groups embedded in the structure, bind those chains together, forming these long, needle-like fibers. But tweak that chemistry just slightly so that now iron and sodium ions bind the chains, and you get this, blue asbestos, or chrysotolite. These crystals split easily along their length, and they create these fine, flexible fibers that are still extraordinarily strong with tensile strengths comparable to high-grade steel wire. This type went into chemical-resistant insulation, shipyards, and even filters inside early gas masks. Oh, and there was another use, one that's hard to believe now.
In this magic box I have right here is something that was manufactured right here in North Carolina. They're cigarettes, produced in the 1950s. And if you look at the filter, you see the filters are blue. Asbestos.
Jeez.
This is Kent with a micronite filter that was manufactured with chrysotolite asbestos in the filter itself.
Yeah, as if tobacco wasn't bad enough for you.
You're not only smoking, you were smoking it through a blue asbestos filter?
Yes.
What a deal.
Only Kent has the revolutionary new micronite filter you've heard so much about. Kent and only Kent filters best. Filters best. Filters best.
In the early 1900s, a young woman named Nellie Kershaw worked in a factory that spun asbestos fibers into threads. Every day, she breathed in the dust that those machines threw into the air. So by her early 30s, she was so sick she could barely breathe. And when she finally decided to ask the factory for help, they refused. They said helping out workers would set a dangerous precedent. Nellie died shortly after, at the age of just 33. Nellie's case caught the attention of pathologist Dr. William Cook. When he opened up her chest, her lungs were gray and scarred, almost blue-black, like they had a huge internal bruise. And when his scalpel passed through them, they rasped. It was like scraping against sandpaper. The tissue was full of mineral grit, and under the microscope, the cause was unmistakable. Asbestos fibers lodged into the lung tissue.
If we were to inhale some type of an asbestos fiber, I kind of think of them as like little microscopic straight arrows. They kind of just shoot down through the nose or the mouth and move down through the trachea. If we can.
Yeah, I think India might still use leaded gasoline. I know some countries in Africa still use it. As of August 21st, no country in the world uses leaded gasoline for cars or road vehicles. Algeria was the last country to ban it. Just ban coming into effect July 2021. Yemen, Iraq, Myanmar, North Korea, Afghanistan. I know they still allow leaded gasoline for some like small engine planes.
Continue on going down here, we get smaller and smaller as we penetrate deeper into the lung tissue, and then you get into these alveolar sacs. These asbestos fibers, they lodge in the tissue there. And lung secretions, enzymes, even white blood cells, they have a really hard time breaking those down.
You end up with scarring deep inside the lungs. In 1924, Dr. Cook published the first medical description of this condition, which became known as asbestosis. When these asbestos fibers lodge into the lungs, the body treats them like invaders. Specialized cells called macrophages move in, cells whose job it is to engulf and digest bacteria, dust, or debris. But asbestos fibers are too long and stiff to swallow. It's kind of like trying to eat a toothpick sideways. The macrophages keep trying and failing, and in the process, they release inflammatory chemicals that damage the surrounding lung tissue. So workers breathing in asbestos dust day after day accumulated more and more damage. When doctors sent by the British government examined hundreds of asbestos workers, they found that more than 25% already showed signs of lung disease. And for workers with over 20 years of exposure, that number was closer to 80%. So in 1931, the government officially classified asbestos as a workplace hazard, making it one of the first industrial materials to be regulated for health risks. But the new rules only covered factories where asbestos was manufactured. They didn't extend to other workers like shipbuilders, miners, or construction workers who were regularly exposed to asbestos dust. Across the Atlantic, things weren't much better. There was no binding federal asbestos rules in the States, only a recommendation. The US Public Health Service suggested a temporary exposure limit of 5 million asbestos particles for a single cubic foot of air, which meant that a worker breathing normally could inhale over 300 million asbestos particles an hour and still be considered within guidelines. This became especially problematic for shipyard workers when World War II broke out. Ships were packed with asbestos insulation, so workers spent their days cutting and fitting asbestos in thick clouds of fibers. And according to the guidelines of the day, these levels met the official definition of safe working conditions. In fact, asbestos was still marketed as a magic material. A few years earlier, Time magazine actually put Johns Manville's president, Lewis H. Brown, on its April 3rd, 1939 cover. But in the early 1960s, finally, one doctor started connecting the dots on asbestos. Dr. Irving Selikoff was running a small clinic in Paterson, New Jersey, when the local asbestos workers union asked if their members could come and see him. Before long, he'd seen multiple workers with either severe lung scarring or, more concerningly, an extremely rare cancer called mesothelioma.
But mesothelioma is strongly associated with asbestos exposure.
I've seen people with mesothelioma. That is like the most horrific shit you can possibly fucking go through. I'd rather have lead poisoning than that crap.
And is cancer of those cells lining the inside of the chest cavity. And most commonly, it's this pleural cavity. These pleural membranes are lined with mesothelial cells. Sometimes what happens is the fibers will work their way out of the lung tissue and directly get into this cavity here, and they can literally pierce out the lungs.
They cause constant irritation, and over time, that can trigger cancerous changes in the cells that make up those linings. Selikoff needed more data to understand the scale of the problem, but factory owners refused to share medical records from their workers with him. So Selikoff had to get creative. See, during World War II, many shipyard workers employed by the Navy underwent federal background checks. Thousands of these men had been working with asbestos to insulate ships, so using surviving FBI wartime personnel records, Selikoff began tracking them down, and one by one painstakingly pieced together their medical histories. What emerged wasn't a handful of isolated tragedies, it was a pattern. That exposure proved deadlier than combat itself. 8.6 out of every 1,000 servicemen were killed in action, whereas 14 out of every 1,000 shipyard workers later died from asbestos-related cancers.
Nearly
Selikoff
double.
launched a formal investigation into hundreds of asbestos insulation workers, and what he found confirmed his fears. Widespread disabling asbestosis, dozens of cases of mesothelioma.
This might be a hard pill for you to swallow, but you're obsessed with Frank Tufano almost as much as Reap Zion is obsessed with Omniscient.
Wouldn't say I'm obsessed, he's just a funny-ass lolcow. Thanks for the donation though, Ben Boy.
Lung cancer rates roughly 7 times higher than expected, and a 3-fold increase in gastrointestinal cancers. In 1964, he organized a conference at the New York Academy of Sciences, where for the first time, all this evidence was presented publicly in one place and on the record. It marked the moment when asbestos stopped being seen as a modern miracle material and instead started being recognized as a public health crisis. But the asbestos industry fought back, trying to discredit Selikoff. Industry-funded research groups came out with papers minimizing the risk of exposure and framing Selikoff's findings as overblown. They started a coordinated PR effort to discredit him, trying to call him alarmist, and starting a rumor that he wasn't even a real doctor just because he got his medical degree out in Scotland. But Selikoff kept going. He kept publishing data on the devastating health effects of asbestos exposure. He worked 18-hour days documenting every patient who wrote to him. He contacted policymakers, even world leaders, urging them to take action against asbestos.
Selikoff, the legendary doctor who organized this conference in the 1970s, found that intravenous drugs were being contaminated by asbestos filtration.
Whoa.
People aren't just eating it and breathing it, they're mainlining it.
By the 1970s, no one could deny it any longer. Miners, factory workers, shipyard insulators, people who'd been exposed decades earlier during the asbestos boom were now turning up with multiple cancers in huge numbers.
Asbestos exposure is linked to all sorts of different cancers. The lung tissue has lymphatic vessels in it. You have them throughout your whole body. The asbestos fibers sometimes on their own can migrate into the lymphatic vessels. Sometimes the white blood cells will take it into the lymphatic system. Once you hit the lymphatic system, you have the potential to go anywhere in the human body.
Autopsies have found fibers in nearly every organ in the body. The brain, bone marrow, spleen, intestines, pancreas, prostate, ovaries, thyroid, and liver. And in every tissue those fibers reach, they set off the same chain reaction.
I'm imagining these white blood cells with personalities, and they get all mad and frustrated because they can't engulf this asbestos fiber. They've coined this term called essentially frustrated phagocytosis. They start releasing these things like reactive oxygen species. They can cause damage to surrounding cells, and really important is damage to DNA. Those cells can start dividing out of control when they start to clump together, and we start to call those clumps of cells cancer.
U.S. courts were flooded with lawsuits against companies like Johns Manville. The harm asbestos caused was well documented. The information was out there. Companies should have known.
Has Facebook become a right-wing echo chamber, or is it mostly bots?
I have no idea. Like, Facebook seems to have pretty decent content moderation. Unlike Twitter, which, yeah. Literally Nazi platform. I don't really look at any online forums or anything on Facebook, so. The only group that I'm a part of on Facebook is, just, Soviet Steeds. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan Dragon.
Known their products were dangerous.
They should know what's reasonably available in the public domain about the dangers of asbestos. If they can read asbestos patents, they can read asbestos pathology papers.
Do you know if your dad had high estrogen levels? I have no fucking idea. I share 50% of my DNA with my dad, and I know that I had very, very low estrogen before I went on steroids. Arguably dangerously low. I had like, I think it was below 20 picograms per mil, whatever the standard measurement is. So if he has similar genetics as me, I would imagine chances are he had low estrogen too. Chances are, but you know, who knows.
But the companies
he actually thinks he got his thyroid cancer from dental x-rays, because apparently he got a fair number of dental x-rays and he didn't have a lead cover for his throat.
Denied it. What was needed was definitive evidence that the companies knew their products were killing their workers. Then an attorney, Carl Ash, noticed something strange in the 1974 report by this huge asbestos company called Astbestos Manhattan. See, in this report, the company suggested that they had actually been investigating health hazards of asbestos since the 1930s. So Ash started digging. He filed a request for internal documents, and at first, the company claimed it couldn't find much. Then, unexpectedly, Ash was handed a banker's box stuffed full of documents meticulously kept by Astbestos Manhattan's former president, Sumner Simpson.
Back in 1935, a journal contacted Simpson because they wanted to write an article about asbestosis. Shortly after, Simpson himself reached out to Johns Manville's lawyer, Vandiver Brown, saying, "I think the less said about asbestos, the better off we are." To which Brown replied, "I quite agree with you that our interests are best served by having asbestosis receive the minimum of publicity." The same papers also revealed that in the 1930s, Astbestos and Johns Manville hired an external company, Saranac Laboratories, to do studies of asbestos on animals, but the companies insisted on controlling what from those studies will be made public. As a letter from Vandiver points out, it is our further understanding that the results obtained will be considered the property of those who are advancing the required funds, who will determine whether, to what extent, and in what manner they shall be made public. A clause to which Saranac Laboratories said yes. But after their lead researcher, who was compiling all this evidence, died in 1946, the companies agreed that nothing should be published that contained any objectionable material. Objectionable meaning any sort of indication that asbestos causes cancer. So when Saranac Laboratories finished their research, the companies took their report, edited it, and just buried the evidence. Here's an original copy of that manuscript, and you can find whole sections just crossed out. Other documents were even more damning. A Johns Manville medical official later testified that up until 1971, the company had a policy of not telling their workers if their physicals showed signs of asbestosis or asbestos-related lung cancers. And in sworn testimony, a witness recalled a meeting they had in the early 1940s with the president of Johns Manville, asking why they weren't warning workers about asbestos. As the witness recalls it, they asked, "Do you mean to tell me you would let them work until they drop dead?" To which the president replied, "Yes, we save a lot of money that way."
Jeez. Holy fuck, like, again, these are the people who get rich. They just don't give a fuck, and rules are for fools. They just focus on making money. That's why I like the most unethical, like, fucking lying deranged fuckwits are, like, millionaires, like Greg with fucking testosterone. Logan Paul with all the fucking scams he's run.
Comment sections on news posts on Facebook is dominantly full of climate deniers, transphobes and anti-vegan rhetoric. On open LGBTQ+ posts, it is just 80% homophobia being commented.
I don't know if a lot of that is like people who are ideologically, you know, really far right wing or anything, or if it's just that there's a lot of boomers using Facebook. I'm inclined to believe it has more to do with stupid boomers using Facebook. But who knows? Like, I don't really look at anything on Facebook aside from like motorcycle shit that I care about, so thanks for the donation though, Vegan Dragon.
Once the Sumner Simpson papers got out, they unlocked a new industrial Watergate. The industry's standard, oh, we didn't know defense, it simply fell apart. Comparisons were made to Big Tobacco's concealment of smoking risks. And the lawsuits surged. Each case brought new discovery, and each round of discovery exposed a wider, more coordinated cover-up. Ever since the word asbestosis started...
That's why wealth redistribution, for the reasons you just mentioned. Well, wealth redistribution isn't going to solve that. What would solve that is just robust laws against like fucking scamming, consumer protection laws, you know, stuff like that. Like, wealth redistribution alone wouldn't do anything where you just steal people's money. Like, I think there should be a certain amount of wealth redistribution, but yeah, like just really, like, I don't know what you mean exactly by wealth redistribution, but like you do need to tax wealthier people more. And then you need to invest that money into, like, you know, schools, hospitals, public infrastructure, stuff like that.
Showing up in medical journals in the 1920s, Johns Manville went out to secure the market around itself. First, they acquired the biggest rock wool company. Then they acquired a firm holding the key patents to calcium silicate insulation that can be made without asbestos. Now, at the same time, companies that had non-asbestos insulation were incentivized into creating asbestos product lines. With each acquisition or inducement, another potential competitor lost the ability to denounce asbestos and say, oh, we have an asbestos-free product. So each in turn became a member of this conspiracy of silence. That is how the asbestos industry guaranteed its survival, by ensuring no one could speak out against it.
We suggest you consider asbestos for the walls of your home.
They're business decisions, and the people who make them are businessmen. I mean, the word morality or moral obligation is almost non-existent in the corporate documents.
In 1982, Johns Manville filed for bankruptcy protection.
Manville Corporation's board of directors has determined that the corporation should file for reorganization under Chapter 11 of the Bankruptcy Act.
Not because they were broke, but in a move widely seen as a...
What is it with Jay Dyer and his obsession with tag and moral objectivism? I'm sorry you had to experience this.
The fact that I say, the fact that
I
say, the fact
you fucked up and said Jay, like, dude,
Jay, what did I just say are the same? Are what am I questioning? What two statements am I questioning whether they're identical or not?
You guys just seem so upset by.
What's his name? Primal Edge Health. Can't remember what his name is, but like this guy is like the dumbest fuckwit just of all time.
By me bringing up the fact that you have presuppositions of what is good and bad.
Wait a sec. Wait 1 sec. Wait. Okay.
Like, this is just what they do. They have no argument, and then they just have to play these stupid games. And like Jay Dyer is one of the most, like, just one of the worst at that. The moral objectivism stuff, it comes from being a weak beta male dipshit. There are people who get this like weird existential crisis when they realize like nothing has any meaning. And then in order to have this like weird security blanket, they need to believe in like Sky Santa. Oh, he's giving me meaning. Like, meaning is something that you create. And like, I've made this point before. Like, if God himself came down to you and said, you know, the meaning of your life is to work some shitty menial labor job that you hate so that you can waste all your money on your wife and kids and then barely have any money for retirement and die. Like, are you going to be satisfied with that? Like, would you care at that point? Like you're going to reject, you know, that kind of meaning, right? Like, I don't know what, like, it's just weakness. You know, anybody with any, like, strength of character and strength of mind is just going to say, I'll make my own meaning and I'll follow my own interests and, you know, like, that's good enough for me. But, like, these people are just weak fucking beta male pussies and they end up having this, like, neurotic existential crisis. So they have to do this shit in order to just get that security blanket they need. Thanks for the donation, though, eh? Dodo donated $2. I would love to see you and Isaac do 2v2 debates again. Can you also go to Ottawa with him and debate people on veganism in Israel? We might do that when the weather warms up. That is something we could do. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
A way to shield the company from a flood of asbestos lawsuits. Despite all the evidence against them, Johns Manville survived. They continue operating to this day, although they no longer produce asbestos. Between 1940 and 1980, the asbestos industry, led by Johns Manville, exposed roughly 21 million Americans to these fibers. Asbestos-related deaths amounted to at least 8,000 to 10,000 people every year, with many more suffering lifelong disease. In 1989, the EPA issued a rule to phase out almost all asbestos use in the United States, and that should...
What did you drop your sodium range to? I didn't really end up reducing my sodium intake. I don't consume that much sodium to begin with. Probably over the course of the entire day, I probably consume like maybe around 2 grams. That might actually not be enough. Because I do still have muscle cramps when I train my abdominal muscles. I've tried increasing my magnesium intake. That seems to have helped a bit. So, but I think I could probably benefit from a higher sodium intake. I had that water retention issue. It had nothing to do with sodium. It was low thyroid, particularly T4 from the growth hormone. After I started taking just Synthroid, which is like synthetic T4, it went away. Like 90% of it went away after like a few days, and over the last month, it's like that last 10% has like slowly gone down. I did a lot of research into it. Apparently, reducing your sodium intake to get rid of water retention, it's not a great idea. It only works like short term, and your body just adjusts to maintain homeostasis. So rather than it actually reducing water retention in the long run, what ends up happening is your body just produces more angiotensin to retain more water, so it ends up not doing anything. Like there's a certain amount of sodium that you need for like normal bodily functions and shit. So I didn't really reduce my sodium intake.
Could have been the end of the story.
But the industry sued immediately, not because anyone disputed asbestos causes cancer. That was undeniable by this point, but because of a legal technicality. See, under the law, the EPA had to prove that an outright ban of asbestos was the only solution, and that anything less than that just wouldn't.
Speaking of taxes, whenever I feel selfish/greedy for wanting a lot of money, I remember libertarians exist who believe they have no obligation whatsoever to pay back into the system they participate in and help fund public services they use.
Yeah, I mean, libertarians are dumb. Like, there's logical self-interest, right? So, like, everyone is going to have logical self-interest to pay less taxes. So, if there is a need to pay more taxes to, like, get enough revenue, you need to adjust the tax code so that people are forced to pay, and it's like a weird balancing act too, because if you charge too much taxes, people either just won't pay, or if they have enough money, they'll just leave to some other area that doesn't have that high tax rate. I think that happened in Norway, where they increased taxes to generate more revenue because they just had irresponsible public spending. And they ended up having a reduction in tax revenue because the country's wealthiest people just left. And it created like a $500 million tax reduction. So it didn't end up doing anything. It didn't do anything. But libertarians are the dumbest motherfuckers just fucking ever. I debated a guy who was an anarcho-capitalist. Oh my god. They're basically libertarians, but like, holy shit, they're so fucking stupid. Thanks for the donation though, Ben Boy.
And cut it. This was an almost impossible feat. Now, the industry argued that they hadn't done that. And unfortunately, the US courts agreed. So in 1991, they ruled that the EPA just hadn't met this narrow legal standard. And with that, the asbestos ban was dead in the water.
But by then, asbestos had become so financially and legally risky for the companies that manufactured it or used it that its overall use did actually decline. Yet, in the end, after years of trying to define and regulate asbestos, the only thing that truly stuck around was a definition, and a narrow one.
Chrysotile and 5 amphiboles, because these were the only ones being mined, sold, and used in factories. Those 6 became the official asbestos minerals. And anything else, no matter how fiber-like or potentially dangerous, well, that doesn't count.
The FDA, for the first time in 50 years, considering testing for asbestos in cosmetics and talc powder.
Traces of it have now been detected in children's play sand.
Thousands of people are claiming that they developed various forms of cancer after years of using Johnson & Johnson's baby powder.
Is this all the stuff that you've collected over the years?
No, it's not all of it. But this box is full of all the Claire's labeled products that I found asbestos in. Everything little girls could possibly want to have their makeup in. Like, oh, I don't know. How about sparkly boxes, right?
Yeah.
And there's a cell phone.
Yes.
Right? With eyeshadows on it.
Yeah.
Right? There's asbestos in there. There's asbestos in the unicorn. There's
all of
that? Yes. All of these have asbestos in them. I started seeing asbestos fibers everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
The eyeshadows, the blush, you know.
Yeah, dude. If you needed any more argument to like not wear makeup, I fucking hate makeup.
Had asbestos fibers. All right. Okay. Wow. Okay.
What year was this?
2017.
What?
2017.
I thought it was going to be like 1980 or something. What?
Nope.
2017?
Yes.
Whoa.
And the manufacturer came back and said there's no way. And they sponsored.
US politics is weird. They talk about right and left when the Norwegian most right party, with a meaningful size, is actually to the left of the American democracies. None is even in the center.
Yeah. Well, that's why no matter what party they elect, they let in like a mass amount of these like retarded, crazy fucking Muslim immigrants. It's the same problem that the UK has. It's the same problem like Sweden has had for a while. I think only recently they finally reversed course on that horse shit. But like, yeah. Like, these people really need to learn the hard way. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan Dragon.
Another laboratory to look at the same samples, and they said, no, none of this counts as asbestos. It's all cleavage fragments, or sepiolite, clay, or something like that. And it was balderdash, right? I called friends all across the states and said, hey, do you have a Claire's store near you? Can you find the sparkly box, right? And send it to me, pronto. There's Claire's all in all of the malls all across America, and then I look further, and it's all over the world. I mean, every mall, everywhere. And I ended up testing Claire's from Brazil to Japan, to London. I found asbestos.
No way.
Right. So that turned into a huge story, right? And now I don't think you can buy very much talc-based cosmetics at Claire's now. But it was a several years long battle.
Claire's disputed independent of asbestos findings after FDA testing and contamination. Company issued a voluntary recall. That is corporate nonsense for you. Like, by the way, what's absolutely fucked about this? Like, these are large companies that can, you know, handle just fine having a recall of these products. Like, you could kind of maybe understand if this is like a really small business and if somebody had to do this, like, it would ruin them and bankrupt them or something. Like, you'd have some amount of sympathy, even though it's like shitty what they're doing. But like, oh no, our profits are going to go down 10% this year. I'm not going to get the $30,000 Christmas bonus. Like, fuck me.
These are different products that were sold at toy stores. Like, here's the secret spy kit.
Yeah.
And you see there's a fingerprint kit there,
Yes.
right? And in that fingerprint kit was a powder in which I found asbestos fibers. Say it ain't so, Mickey Mouse crayons.
No.
Oh, Russia has tons of Muslims in big cities. I don't know where you got that idea from.
I found asbestos in those.
And this keeps happening. Just a couple of months ago, around 70 schools in Australia and New Zealand had to close down because of the asbestos found in children's play sand. Out of the 60 outlets that reported on this story, only 24% were from right-leaning sources. Depending on where you get your news, this might have never crossed your radar, which is a problem because public health information like this for sponsoring this part of the video. And now let's go figure out why asbestos is even getting into all these consumer products. Now, no one is intentionally putting asbestos in makeup or kids' toys. So how did something we know is deadly just end up everywhere? Well, it's an unfortunate consequence of where asbestos forms, and nowhere makes that more clear than Libby, Montana.
It kind of breaks my heart to talk about it. The mine up there is the vermiculite mine. It's about 5-6 miles north.
Vermiculite is a mineral that is used in everything from insulation to fireproofing to potting soil. On its own, it's harmless. The problem was Libby's vermiculite formed mixed in with amphibole asbestos fibers. And the same thing happens with other minerals we mine, including stuff like talc. That's how asbestos ends up in products like the ones we saw at Sean's lab.
And the worst part, the company that owned and operated the mine, W.R. Grace, they knew. They knew the ore contained asbestos, they knew people were getting sick, and they didn't warn the town. In fact, they tried to cover it up for almost 30 years.
They had hundreds of workers in there. And of course, when the miners would go home, they had dust all over their clothes and their kids and their wives.
You know, what's so funny too, like, drug dealers get this bad rap for like, oh my God, you're selling people poison. Like, oh, scum of society. Everyone knows drugs are bad. Like, you know exactly what you're getting, like, technically anyway, when you buy like cocaine or heroin. Like, I know it can get mixed in with fentanyl or something these days, but like, but even then, you know, that's a risk when you're buying drugs, that it can be mixed with fentanyl or whatever. Like, everyone knows drugs dangerous, drugs bad, shouldn't do drugs. But, you know, there's people who assume that risk, take it. So it's like somebody selling a product where everyone understands the risk, everyone knows it's bad, they shouldn't do it, they do it anyway. And there's just like some people who cater to that market of people who have low inhibition and don't give a fuck. Then drug dealers get a bad rap, but then these like these sort of white collar crimes, these large corporations do something way fucking worse, where you're supposed to like be under the impression, oh, this product is safe, it's just like a kid's toy or something, and then they're knowingly poisoning your fucking children, and like they don't care, they know, and they lie about it. And then, like, again, white-collar crime, none of these people ever fucking see any fucking jail time. They might get a fine, and then, like, oh, you have to pay, like, $10 million for doing this or something, which is, like, the revenue they make in a weekend. Like, it's so fucking retarded. Dodo $20. See, I told you you would like this video, by the way. I bet Frankie's talcum powder he gets from China has asbestos fibers in it. Probably. You know, I really wish I could get some sort of independent testing on some of Frank's products and then blow the whistle and show like Frank is literally selling asbestos, because I guarantee you there's like some horse shit in it. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Got it and died as well. But the doctors up around Libby, they knew. Boy, did they know.
Besides the lung disease and cancers long associated with asbestos exposure, researchers were also finding rates of some autoimmune diseases were nearly 6 times higher than the national average. And by the time the Libby situation hit the headlines in 1999, reporters documented nearly 200 deaths in a town of fewer than 3,000.
And it can take 20 years for it to go, but pretty soon you have no breath at all and you die of asphyxiation. I could tell, talking on the phone, by somebody's voice how far along they were toward death, because none of them survived.
Finally, in 2009, the EPA declared a public health emergency in Libby, calling it the worst case of industrial poisoning of a community in U.S. history.
But Libby's just the tip of the iceberg.
Because for decades, W.R. Grace shipped Libby vermiculite around the country, and with it, deadly affable asbestos, which ended up in millions of homes as attic insulation. And Grace also made a fireproof spray that was used on the steel frames of high-rise buildings. By 1970, over half of the multi-story buildings erected in the United States used this fireproof spray, including the World Trade Center. But this spray was actually marketed as asbestos-free. According to a later investigation by the New York Times, Grace lobbied regulators to adopt a threshold under which products containing less than 1% of asbestos would not be regulated.
Of course.
Grace argued that the danger of such small amounts had not been proved.
This became known as the 1% rule, or the Grace rule.
That decision didn't just affect the products from Libby's mine, it reshaped how asbestos was detected, regulated, and ignored everywhere.
Oh my God!
Okay, when that went down, I knew it. I knew they had asbestos, and so I started calling. I said, how are you going to protect people from that? Because now that stuff's all over the place. You saw the dust clouds, right?
September 11th became the largest real-world test of asbestos detection following a...
Man, I'm glad I was not living in New York when the World Trade Centers collapsed.
Single catastrophic event.
The dust is so thick you can't see.
When the EPA began sampling the dust and analyzing it, they chose a method we used back at the lab called polarized light microscopy, or PLM.
But the PLM has two major limitations. First, it struggles to detect asbestos if it's less than 1% by weight in the sample. And second, it can only see the fibers that are roughly longer than about 5 micrometers or wider than about 1/4 of a micrometer.
As a result, the smallest, and oftentimes the most dangerous fibers, like the ones pulverized during the collapse of the towers, are difficult to detect using just the PLM.
To reliably find these, you need transmission electron microscopy, or TEM.
Where we top out at about 1,000 times with light microscopy, this tops out at about 1,000,000 tons. But what we need to see is just what are the finest fibers that potentially can go into your lung.
Without having used a TEM, the EPA declared New York's air safe.
Everything we've tested for, which includes asbestos, lead, and
yes, good old
VOCs, have been
EPA.
below any level of concern for the general public health.
But some researchers after 9/11 actually did do studies with TEM. They found asbestos levels far above the EPA's own safety thresholds in most of their samples. And the report also warned that because many of these fibers were actually smaller than normal, they were especially dangerous. They posted the results on the American Industrial Hygiene Association website, but within hours, their post disappeared. Less than 24 hours later, the researchers were notified they had been taken off the job and were no longer required at Ground Zero.
Oh my God. Oh, the amount of corporate corruption is just fucking crazy.
Former EPA chief investigator later went on CBS saying they believe the agency had deliberately used the wrong testing methods and downplayed the danger.
New York.
Dude, it's just such a weird kind of quirk of humanity. You'd think if you had a group of smart people who are all laid off, they'd be like, no, we're not fired. Fuck you. We're going to show up to the job anyway. You're going to pay us, eat shit and just, refuse to lose, demand the right thing, but no, everybody's just a sheep, does what they're fucking told. That's how the Nazis were able to perpetrate the Holocaust. There's so many stories during the Nuremberg trials where you had these death squads where absolutely none of these dudes wanted to hunt down and kill Jews, but they did it anyway because, well, somebody told me to do it, and I was also worried what my friends would think if I'm a pussy or something. People are just built to be just mindless fucking retarded sheep. Dodo $2 Moscow is 15% Muslim. What the fuck is that person talking about? And the entire oblast in Russia are 80% Muslim, like Dagestan and Chechnya. By the way, I love the irony. Imagining Frank claiming to sell the only non-toxic products on the market. Turns out it's asbestos. Yeah. Well, and again, we know where he's getting this shit from. It's all garbage from Alibaba. So yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah, I don't know where people get this idea that Russia's this racially homogenous white ethno-state. They have yeah, again, Chechnya, Dagestan, like, they're all fucking Muslim, and a lot of them end up moving to Moscow and shit. There's huge amounts of Muslims in Russia, and, like, that's why there's that crazy fucking Muslim terror attack. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
New York City directly lied about the test results for asbestos in air. When they finally released them, they doctored the results.
Yes,
we don't know if that's true. But to be clear, PLM is still widely used to detect asbestos because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's easier to deploy. But what we do know is two things. First, the PLM method was not sensitive enough to detect whether there were asbestos.
Ben Boyd, Only Tellers, why did Gig say on Discord last month that he was about to freeze to death and was running out of food, but I still see him posting on there recently? Starting to think he's not being completely honest about some of the things he says. I have no idea about any of that. Thanks for the donation, though, Ben Boy.
Asbestos fibers in the dust at ground zero. And second, the EPA did have other, more sensitive methods available to them. Whatever the motives, the result was the same. New Yorkers were told that the air was safe when it really wasn't. And as of December 2023, 6,781 of those who have been registered with the World Trade Center Health Program have died either of an illness or a cancer.
In case you want to react to Alex Kopupu revisits veganism later. He makes the arguments, rights does not exist and how he is no longer consequentialist anymore and stuff. Sadly I need to go now, but here.
Definitely not going to be able to watch this tonight, but we can react to that late, like next stream. This guy is such a fucking dishonest little weaselly fucktard. Just look at this little beta male bitch. It was like, who the fuck walks outside the house with this little bitch rat mustache? Just what a fucking disgusting idiot dork. Yeah, we'll react to that next stream. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan Dragon.
Cancer linked just to their time being around ground zero.
But even if the EPA had used the TEM, the answer would still not be simple, because even then, researchers run into a more basic problem. What actually counts as asbestos?
Is there asbestos in the air? Is there asbestos in the soil? Is there asbestos in the water? Is there asbestos in the body? All of those counting rules are based on fibers that are not super long, but they're way longer than the vast majority of, say, libby-amphibole fibers, and the vast majority of fibers that are inhaled. So they're not even counting those. They're not even looking for those. The ways that we are right now telling people whether they're being exposed or not is a lie.
And when longer fibers break, forming these so-called cleavage fragments, they don't count either.
Yeah, there's a whole effort to say, oh yeah, if it's been broken, it's not dangerous. But there are so many papers out there that show that if you put pure cleavage fragments into mice, they get very, very sick.
This really matters when you're in a place like this, and you realize the dust could be considered asbestos contaminated under one definition and perfectly safe under another.
Nobody would have expected to find asbestos here.
I'm trying to get
To be clear, there were no asbestos mines in Nevada, no industrial sites, no history of asbestos commercial use at all, but geologists Brenda Buck and Rut Metcalf found asbestos spread across approximately 1 million acres outside Las Vegas.
Geologic processes transport these materials, and before the erosion started, they were just in the bedrocks along the mountain front. Now they're in sediments down there, they're in the stream here.
And the problem with the naturally occurring stuff like this is it may be only a small percentage in the rock and even a smaller percentage in the soil, but this stuff gets in the air.
Entire communities might be breathing it in and getting sick without knowing. So Brenda and Rod tried to warn people. Back in late 2012, they compiled all of their findings for a presentation at the Conference of the Geological Society of America. But before the conference even began, the abstract caught the attention of a journalist who reported on the story. And that's when the pushback started. Soon, the state of Nevada sent a cease and desist letter, and officials questioned Brenda and Rod's methods.
So if you go to Las Vegas, you're going to get exposed to asbestos. They didn't want that out there.
Every time I drove into Boulder City, there was an official tailing me within a minute.
The message was clear. Don't look any further.
Well, we did decide to look further, so we drove out into the desert to a popular off-roading spot to test whether there really is asbestos in the dust around Las Vegas.
Okay, I'm strapped into a dune buggy here. I'm going to go down to that basin, and Sean's strapped up some dust collectors with receivers in my breathing zone so we can actually figure out how much asbestos I would be inhaling through the dust that I pick up.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
You see those donuts, huh?
Yeah, you were ripping it up down there.
Yeah, from a geological point of view, any notes?
it rained today. I thought about that while I was watching. I was like, there might not be much dust, but these are the air samples that we're hanging in your breathing,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And I looked at them, and the filters have some tanning on them.
Oh, that's good.
Which means we actually did get some dust. We don't know what's in it yet, but there's something in there.
But the original plan was for us to actually do this at the dry lake bed just outside Boulder City, because this is where people do the majority of their off-roading. You know, they camp, they do photo shoots, even take their wedding photos, except not on the day that we were there. Okay, we're out here on the dry lake bed, supposedly, in Las Vegas, where on the one day that we're here, the lake has decided not to be dry in any sort of definition. Oh my God. And so what we're gonna go do is suit up, get some samples, and figure out how much asbestos there really is in this stuff.
Okay. We're going to do a third. Let's go out to that island.
Okay, got the samples. Next step, take them to the lab.
Great to see you guys again. And
yeah, good to see you too. Well, we're here for one thing, I suppose. Like, what kind of results did we get?
Now, the big reveal. Drum roll, please. I did the dune buggy air samples first. Those samples that you had on your left and right shoulders, I didn't find any asbestos fibers.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a bit of a relief. I'm glad we did the demonstration, and I'm kind of glad we didn't find anything, because I'm pretty sure I took my mask off at a few points.
I've been in those shoes, like, we didn't find anything. Oh, but wait a minute. I was breathing that.
Exactly. So what about the samples in the dry lake bed?
Another drum roll.
Okay.
I found amphibole asbestos.
Wow. Okay.
It's there. It is there. I counted up a number of fibers, the area of the filter that I analyzed, and I figured out that we had between 30 and 50 million asbestos structures per gram of mud that we were walking through.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
And just to think that we pulled off to the side of the road, walked, what, 30 meters, took 3 samples, and all of them had these incredibly high concentrations of
All
asbestos.
right, well, if I ever go to Vegas, I'll avoid that dry lake bed.
Right there, it's not like we had to go up and find.
Very wet soil was lucky for us because we know there's asbestos in that soil. Now, think about the guys that go taking their Jeep across there when it is a dry lake.
I mean, that was our initial plan, to do the dune buggying there. And I can't like help but think about people drive down that road all the time. They must pull over. They must go down there, like just kick dust and rocks. And
we know they do. We know they do.
And there's no sign to tell you that there's anything wrong with the dry lake. It's not like we, discovered this.
Right.
This has been available data since
October of 2013 is the actual publication date of Naturally Occurring Asbestos, Potential for Human Exposure in Southern Nevada by Brenda Buck et al.
So 13 years, we've had this data. It's not like we rediscovered anything.
And that's the other thing that's really hard about this science. You need the public to be aware, but you don't want to terrify them. And so how do you find the right way?
This will potentially be seen by tens of millions of people, so is there a message you want to get out?
This is a natural hazard.
Started raining just as I want to head to the gym. Yeah, that's why the home gym life is so much better. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. You don't have to deal with any fucking bullshit.
Just like a lot of things in your life. It's really good for people to know whether or not their house is in a flooding zone, right? It's really good to know about earthquake risks. It's really good to know about hurricanes and tornadoes. Well, this is just another natural hazard. And if you have the information, then you can make better decisions to live a healthier life.
Problem is that asbestos in the real world doesn't line up with how it's regulated. Take this fiber. It comes from a sample of the same blue asbestos from the site outside Las Vegas we visited at the start of the video.
I think we have 2 different phases, at least, of amphibole here, because if it's yellow in this orientation, but also blue in this orientation, in the same fiber bundle, then we have a change in the phase from here to here.
So this one fiber is actually 2 minerals, and that complexity shows up in its structure too. Under the electron microscope, one side could meet the definition of asbestos.
Gummy, for fuck's sakes, dude. You're not getting my, like, leftover sauce in my bowl. Depressed and repressed, donate $3. Let me see. Afghanistan government introduces new code that allows beatings, bans women from escaping violence, and makes justice structurally impossible. Yeah, that sounds like Muslims doing what Muslims do. I'm sure we're going to find a news report saying the Taliban legalize using acid to, like, disfigure women. The United Kingdom government is blocking Trump from using its bases for strikes on Iran, according... Oh, my God. Well, yeah, thank you, Keir Starmer. Have fun just supporting Islamic jihadist terror regimes. What a fucking asshole. FDA Chief Marty Macri says everything should be over the counter unless drug is unsafe or addictive. Based. Dude, if we're going to give people the agency to decide whether or not they should drink alcohol, whether or not they should eat any particular type of food, then yeah, they should have the agency to decide if they want to take a particular type of drug. Like, I had this fucking issue when I went to the hospital with the water retention problem. My blood pressure, according to their thing, was hypertensive. I've gone over this before. The cuffs for your arm, they're not accurate if you're like a bodybuilder and you have big arms. So wrist cuffs are more accurate for me. Based on the wrist cuff, I was normal. I didn't have hypertension. My blood pressure was still under 120/80. According to their blood pressure reading, I think I was 140/80, which is hypertensive. I asked the doctor, okay, like, can you give me a prescription for an ARB like telmisartan? Because one, I'm on steroids, which can raise your blood pressure, and it's through the angiotensin receptor pathway. So if I'm hypertensive, the telmisartan would bring me down to a normotensive state. And on top of that, they help prevent water retention, which is a problem I was having at the time. So, you know what the doctor said? No, I don't want to do that. You're like fairly young still, and you know, you can handle high blood pressure. I'd only prescribe you something like telmisartan if you were like in hypertensive crisis, where your blood pressure is over 170. So if you have blood pressure that high, by the way, you can die at any moment. So she's literally saying, even though I would qualify for blood pressure medication, it makes perfect sense to be on the medication given that I'm on steroids, given the current condition that I had, and it's just a good idea because it if you use telmisartan prophylactically, it can also help prevent left ventricular hypertrophy. She refused for no fucking reason because, like, by her estimation, no, I only want to give you drugs if you're literally about to die. Like, the amount of retarded, dumb fuck, idiot doctors that exist is just, like, incomprehensible. And I mean, this isn't just a Canada thing. This isn't even like like me living in the middle of nowhere and going to a shitty hospital. It's everywhere. I have a friend that lives in Chicago. He's gone to multiple doctors around downtown Chicago, and like, they're all fucking idiots. He just wanted a prescription for Cialis. They gave him a 5 milligram prescription. He said, you know, I tried taking 10 milligrams and I get the best benefit from 10 milligrams. Refused to give him a prescription for 10 milligram Cialis. For no reason. It's one of the safest drugs, like, you could possibly fucking take. It's also beneficial for blood pressure. Like, it's just incomprehensible how they think. It just, for no reason, they do this shit. He also had low testosterone. He had to go to 3 different fucking doctors until one was even willing to prescribe him anything. Like, it's psychotic. So, when I found out that I had the low thyroid issue, I didn't even bother going to the fucking hospital because I knew what they were going to fucking tell me. They're going to say some stupid fucking shit like, oh, well, your thyroid levels are low, but they're not like super low. Maybe just go off the steroids for a while, see how things, go on for the next few months. The water retention problem that I had was just fucking horrific. It was so awful. Like, I could not live like that any longer. So I just bought black market fucking Synthroid. Like, why even bother going to the doctors, waiting like a couple hours in the emergency room to be told some stupid fucking bullshit by some fucking idiot who thinks they're a fucking super genius because they got a fucking C in medical school. And even though you got a fucking C and you graduated at the bottom of your stupid dumb fuck retard fuckwit class, I'm still a doctor. I'm better than you. I'm the fucking dickhead who can decide whether or not you get fucking medication, fucking bitch. So, yeah, I don't even, like, if I needed surgery, if I got into a car accident, sure, I'll go to the fucking doctor and get, like, some, like, help with that, but, like, holy fuck, if I can avoid it, yeah, I'm smarter than them, I know more than them, they're fucking idiots, and it's not just me, like, literally everyone I know, they have to deal with the fucking most stupid horse shit from these fucking doctors. It's not just Canada and the fucking social, healthcare thing or me being in the middle of nowhere. It's fucking everyone. Everywhere. Even if you go to the States and you're in a major city. Still fucking idiots everywhere. So, yeah, they should just make most drugs, unless they're like painkillers or something, just over the counter. Why? And I mean, the healthcare expenses are just fucking ridiculous. If you need a medication... Like this is especially true if you're in the States. If you need a medication, it's not just as simple as like, oh, well, I got to get the meds and then you pay for the medication. No, let's see. It's $200 for the fucking doctor's visit. It's like $700 for the tests they run. And then like we have to go through your fucking insurance and see if they'll fucking cover some of the things. And then you get the fucking prescription. Like, you have to jump through all these fucking hurdles. Each hurdle costs you, like, a ton of fucking money just so that you have the privilege of taking a fucking medication that you already know you need to fucking take. If you could just buy the fucking medication, you wouldn't have to spend $1,500 fucking dollars on a fucking doctor visit and waste hours of your fucking time. So, yeah, it's fucking retarded. It's just a fucking racket. The medical, like the whole medical industry, it's a drug cartel, and this is the stupid shit they do to keep control over the fucking market. They make you jump through all these stupid fucking hoops and bullshit so that they can ensure that they're the only ones who have control of the fucking drug supply, and they can negotiate with your fucking insurance company so that they can bend you over the fucking knee and fuck you up the ass with the expense of some of these medications. It's fucking retarded. Let me see.
What are you going to say? We don't have control. And this is East London, this is Whitechapel, Bengali area also.
They're calling the police because they don't like Christianity. Oh yeah, and send a woman who might get gang raped and doesn't have a gun. Brilliant.
I never learned how to dive. Why is it so hard? Is it a skill you're born with?
I've never been good at diving. I fucking hate it. I've never been able to dive like from like a big, like from a high diving board without it just hurting. Also, like every fucking time, no matter what I do, if I dive off of a diving board that's like pretty high, my shorts just fly off and everybody sees my dick and balls. Like every time, without fail. I've even like cinched up my fucking swimming shorts like really fucking tight. They still fly off. I don't know what I'm fucking doing, but yeah. Every time I've gone off a high diving board, my shorts just fly off. Like, it's I don't really have a fucking problem with being naked in front of people anymore. I actually kind of like it. I wish I could just jerk off in public and have girls watch me, but like still, thanks for the donation though, Speed Racer.
No, I understand. I understand that you guys don't want to hear it. I would recommend that you just move away and don't listen to him. Well, you can't do that.
But under our religion, we need to kill Christian, and if he doesn't leave, we might have to kill the infidel. Can you make him stop?
You're going to stand here and
excuse me, we live here. So if we came outside, he's
not in he's not in your home.
No, by the end of the day, this is our community.
No, I hear you.
Dude, like this shit is going on, and they still think it's a good idea to import all these fucking retards from like armpits of the fucking world. Like, it's so retarded. And like, by the way, this whole thing that they're doing where they're hiring female police officers, not only are they hiring female police officers, they're hiring like 20-year-old girls, barely out of their fucking teens. They're some of the most like immature, like unprofessional, like, and like uncultured, like not streetwise people you've ever fucking seen. Like, these are 20-year-old girls that just got out of fucking college. The only reason they're joining the police force is because they're like putting out these like stupid ads on social media for the police force and like, oh, girls can do what boys can do. And then these like dumbass bitch girls who just got out of college and were indoctrinated into this feminist communist bullshit are like, I'm going to show the boys what I can do. And they're also giving them incentives. So like, you know, sign up bonuses too. And like, they have no street smarts. Like, they don't know what type of dudes are dangerous and shit like that. Like, they literally have no clue what they're fucking getting into. And they're doing this deliberately so that they don't stop crimes. It's a deliberate, intentional thing because they're hiring police with the intention of making sure they do not stop crimes. They just want them handing out like fucking tickets. And I think it's part of the reason is because of this influx of migrants. They don't want to have male police officers that can actually effectuate arrests. Because then you'll see in the crime statistics, oh, like fucking Pakistani Muslims, Syrian fucking Muslims, Afghan fucking Muslims, like 80% of the fucking crime in these areas are committed by these fucking Muslims from these fucking countries. If they're all women doing this stupid shit, who are they going to fucking arrest? Nobody. They're just going to give out fucking stupid speeding tickets or tickets for littering. And then they get the statistics they want where, oh, see, Muslims are only committing like 15% of the fucking crimes. But if they actually arrested anybody, like, you know, with the fucking rape gangs, well, you'd see what's actually going on. But yeah, fuck the UK. Just one of the stupidest fucking places on earth. $2 more Darth
Do you
nonsense.
have Hitchhiker's Thumb?
Do you have Hitchhiker's Thumb? I don't know what that is. I do put my thumb up girls' butts. Thanks for the donation, Speed Racer.
Welcome, Eternal.
No, I'd rather people not masturbate in public, but it's always something that I've kind of wanted to do. I'd like to just jerk off and just have a bunch of girls watch me.
Yeah, and just trying to get what the argument here is supposed to be, right?
It's not an argument, it's a proposition. The argument is that the world as it presents itself to us, either is that the world appears to be designed because to believe that it is the product of design with the impossibility of the contrary. Okay, so when you have something combined with the impossibility of the contrary, you have a proof.
Yeah, what's the argument that the
we're not playing this little game. Okay, are you listening to me? We're not going to play. No, I'm going to interrupt you as the host. Do you want me to block your account?
What is the argument?
Do you want me to block your account?
It's impossible.
Do you need to block your account?
Are you just going to dodge?
Okay, bye. Good, welcome. Now you.
Yeah, that sounds like. Can you make an argument? No, I'm going to block you. Yeah. Sounds about right. Thanks for the donation, too.
Are you ready for war?
Not just yet, but will be soon. Thanks for the donation, Cockspike.
The other may not, simply because of its shape. So one single fiber could fall within one of the 6 named and regulated asbestos minerals if you look at one side, but the other would be completely unregulated. Your lungs don't care about these categories, though.
The asbestos fiber, you'll find it everywhere. No ordinary rock. No single rock, indeed, but a group of related minerals with characteristics in common, but in varying degrees.
Most experts will say asbestos isn't a mineralogic or a geologic term, it's a commercial one. But that's symbolics. Why do I say that? Because it's not just a commercial term. We now know that asbestos can kill you. So if we're going to say that, we have to define it based on health effect, and we don't.
So what are we actually doing about it?
The system was so complex, it was so burdensome, that our country hasn't even been able to uphold a ban on asbestos, a known carcinogen that kills as many as 10,000 Americans every year.
This cat is
Well, in 2016, Congress did try to fix this broken system. They passed an amendment giving the EPA new power to evaluate and restrict dangerous chemicals, including asbestos.
I think it's time to sign the Frank R. Lautenberg Chemical Safety for the 21st Century Act into law.
But then progress stalled again. Under the Trump administration, efforts to strengthen asbestos rules slowed dramatically. Trump had publicly praised asbestos for years.
People in my industry think asbestos is the greatest fireproofing material ever made.
It wasn't until 2024 that the US finally banned chrysotile asbestos. But this ban doesn't cover the other 5 types of asbestos, and it still allows some manufacturers up to 12 years to phase it out. It doesn't address what to do with asbestos already in schools and homes and other buildings, nor does it fix any of the numerous classification, identification, and detection loopholes, and it doesn't address the asbestos in the environment. On top of that, the EPA is already getting sued again.
There have been tremendous forces from commercial industries to make it sound like it's not as bad as it is, and to find ways to allow them to continue to use the material. This is a sad fact of our decision making in our country and other countries, is that.
Do you think one day Hollywood will be making movies about the Palestinian genocide the same way they make movies today about the Holocaust and basically depict the IDF the way they depict Nazis?
That will be the case if there's still a disproportionate amount of women that are doing, like, you know, production and directing roles in Hollywood. Because all this horseshit, like, only, like, dumb bitch, harebrained fucking women who are addicted to TikTok and social media are promoting this dumb nonsense. Like, anybody who actually has any sort of, like, serious interest in politics know this is just fucking nonsense. So, yeah, if you still have, like, you know, your Kathleen Kennedys and shit like that running things, you're going to see those films. And they're going to bomb at the box office. Nobody's going to watch them. Everybody's going to think they're stupid. And then, like, you know. Thanks for the donation, though, Speed Racer. Dodo, donators just missed entirely how Trump supported asbestos. Go back. Oh.
That is true.
Asbestos. But this ban doesn't cover the other 5 types of asbestos. It was
21st Century Act into law.
But then progress stalled again. Under the Trump administration, efforts to strengthen asbestos rules slowed dramatically. Trump had publicly praised asbestos for years.
A lot of people in my industry think asbestos is the greatest fireproofing material ever made.
It wasn't until
Yeah. Good old Trump. Yeah, that's corporate corruption for you.
2024 that the US finally banned chrysotile asbestos. But this ban doesn't cover the other 5 types of asbestos, and it still allows some manufacturers up to 12 years to phase it out. It doesn't address what to do with asbestos already in schools and homes and other buildings, nor does it fix any of the numerous classification, identification, and detection loopholes, and it doesn't address the asbestos in the environment.
Sad
that's
fact
great.
of our.
6 million people there might develop asbestos-related diseases. And similar things are happening in many of the other countries in Asia. We've actually found this website where it looks like you can just buy asbestos cloth made in China, but...
Made in China? Is that madeinchina.com?
After denying having a child, the new Notepad update is catching everyone lacking.
This dude's
the streets! Here comes a new challenger!
LowTierGod's child support notepad leaked on stream.
Yeah, I didn't actually prompt that in. That's funny.
Oh my god. So he's fighting this in court. Grand totals of everything that is being taken from me so far without a DNA test. Shit. Dude.
Why does the Iranian regime not just accept Trump's terms for peace deal? They are pretty simple requests and that would keep them in power. But no, we want to instead continue to threaten the US and act big and tough, which could lead to end of our regime.
You know, I'm genuinely skeptical over whether they're actually trying to negotiate with Iran, because, like, the more sensible thing to do would obviously be an actor, like, to just do a regime change. Like, why, like, they have to be sensible enough to know Iran is a bunch of liars, they're crazy religious fanatics, like, they're not trustworthy. And there's going to be problems in the future. Like, they're funding terrorism and shit with Israel. Like, I would have to figure they're doing this, like, negotiation bullshit so that they can actually pinpoint down the location of the Ayatollah. And Iran probably thinks that, too. That these negotiations are a sham and they're trying to pinpoint locations of, like, the Ayatollah, IRGC officials so that they can take him out. So, I don't know. I don't know if any of that's actually real. Thanks for the donation, though, eh?
Damn.
Yeah, dude, all these Christians, you know, talking bad about butt sex, and, like, there you go. If he just fucked in the butt, wouldn't have this issue. You can't get a girl's butt pregnant.
My bad.
Nah, I didn't been going on for no 10. Like I said, I don't know nothing about that thing. I don't know nothing about nothing.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah.
I think the dialect was off. You say something, one person says blah, blah, blah. Somebody will probably screen cap it or some corny shit.
Yeah. That's embarrassing.
China, but please don't. And all of the asbestos that we've
No, I'm not going to play Reanimal tonight. It's just way too late.
already mined, even who is going to take care of it and how. So a lot of the answers to these questions just don't exist yet. But if you're worried about asbestos exposure for yourself, check out the links that we've put in the description.
For me to not offer an ashtray, even if I was a smoker back in the day. And all the scientists working for the big cigarette companies said, why? Tobacco never hurt anybody. But because of the outcry and the recognition that, that smoking causes disease, everybody knows someone who died because of cigarettes, right? Now you might find out that asbestos-related diseases has touched you in some way. You don't even know yet. Yeah. I didn't know my grandfather died because of asbestos, that my father is dying, more likely than not, because of asbestos. Did I know that when I started looking at asbestos under a microscope? No. Did I know that when I changed the brakes on the Jeeps that I ran around in? No. Did I know that when I ran around through asbestos-containing dust? No. Now I do.
Pretty much every scientist and journalist we spoke to for this video said the same thing. This is a hard story to get out there. They've faced economic pressure, political pressure, the research got buried, and some people even received death threats for reporting on the story. It is an uncomfortable topic, but I think it's these uncomfortable topics that matter the most, that have the potential to do the most good. Yet they...
Oh, goodness, Gum Gum is so beautiful. He's annoying, but he's also just so beautiful.
Wow. This is actually kinda cool.
Let me see.
Romans were mastering grain storage. Persian engineers were doing something that sounds impossible, making ice in 40 degrees Celsius desert heat, without electricity, without refrigeration, without any modern technology. They built massive dome structures called yakchals that could store 5,000 tons of ice through scorching summers lasting 6 months. These weren't just holes in the ground, they were precision-engineered thermal machines that defied physics. Here's how they worked. In winter, Persians would flood shallow pools at night when desert temperatures plummeted below freezing. By morning, they'd harvest sheets of ice and rush them into the yakchal before sunrise. But storing ice...
There's no chance you'd have big blocks. Like, yeah, best case scenario, you'd have just small sheets.
Ice isn't the hard part. Keeping it frozen through summer is. The genius was in the architecture. The domes stood 60 feet tall, with walls 6 feet thick, made of a special mortar called sarouge, a mix of sand, clay, egg whites, lime, goat hair, and ash. This created an ancient form of insulation that blocked heat transfer. But insulation alone wasn't enough. They built massive walls called bodgears, wind catchers, on the north side. These caught cold night winds and funneled them down into underground channels that ran beneath the ice storage. The wind naturally cooled before entering the chamber. The dome shape was critical. Hot air rose to the top and escaped through a vent at the peak, while the ice sat in the coolest layer at the bottom. Now, the flowing water would pay fortune.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Thanks for that, Nation Speed Racer.
Toilet oil 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 toilet 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 toilet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right. Well, I gotta get to bed. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. If everything goes according to plan, should be training legs tomorrow. It's probably going to be a bit of a boring leg training day. I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. But in any case, I will be on tomorrow. We'll try to play some games. Try to finish Reanimal and whatnot. And if we have time, maybe we'll play through RE4 before RE9 comes out. But thanks again, everybody. And I will see you all, well, I guess later today. And sweet dreams.